Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're back. We're AI Core returns. It's happening. We're here with
Yeah, and just like DC Comics, we're rebranding this as a number one.
yeah, pretty much. Here with Cool Man, temporarily known as Batman 229, and the man with the silky smooth voice. We got Metal Gear Mando here. Hello,
Hello.
hello. Yeah. So what did y'all think of the Batman trailer?
Uh, Not looking forward to it.
Not as good as the first one, that's for sure.
You thought the first trailer was? I liked the first trailer, but
I
then again, they
really
showed
liked the
less.
first one.
So
This one, I think I don't know. We're gonna watch it. There's a lot that I don't care for.
Wait, was there a second one or the one that we're I've seen one. I
The
miss
new
one?
one. Yeah, the first one came out about a year ago, I think.
Oh, okay, no. Yeah, the one that came out like a week or two ago.
That's the new one.
Okay, yeah, all right. I was gonna make sure. I'm like, did I miss something?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I wish I missed this one. I wish I could live in the world where I only saw the first one.
Well, there are some parts of it that look like, okay, it's very clearly got a Hollywood budget, but there are other parts of it that look like CW levels of like budget.
I'm interested to know which parts.
Well,
I want to know.
The Batmobile.
You don't like the Batmobile?
Oh no, it looks like garbage.
Oh, I love it.
it looks like Mad Bat Fury Road or something.
Yeah.
It looks like it should be in a Fast and Furious movie, not a Batman movie.
I mean, look, I think it'll grow on me, but it looked a bit. I mean, is this movie trying to be like super duper grounded or
Kind of. That's
like,
what it looks
what
like.
It is.
yeah,
This-
yeah, and the car looks like it's more styled after the 1960s Batmobile, which like it was just a nice looking car in that due to budget. But like
Right.
personally, I've never been a fan of a Batmobile that's just a car.
Mm.
Like it just always feels weird when it's just, oh yeah, a billionaire with all the tech in the world has a super advanced suit, and then he's got this.
Yeah, I
He's
think
he's got a souped up Charger as his Batmobile.
I think the reason why I like it so much in this context is like looking at his suit, it really matches this slapped together version of Batman where he's not the Batman quite yet. He's getting there. Like you look at his cowl and there's stitching on the forehead, like it's thrown together. His gauntlets are really fucking weird. They look like something taken from Talon.
Yeah, but it's still like an Iron Man level suit.
That's true. That, and we'll talk about that because I fucking hate that. I was talking.
Oh
about
yeah. The part where he's just walking and they are shooting him, and I'm like,
yes.
"You're Batman.
But-
you were trained by some of the world's greatest magicians at how to disappear. Why aren't you disappearing?"
I'm just talking about from an aesthetic standpoint. I think that the Batmobile matches well with this kind of not ragtag, but he's strapping shit onto things because he's not quite there yet to the tank style or the supercar yet.
Yeah, like I mean, to be perfectly honest, I have my own issues with like the Nolan verse Batman, but if there are some things I'm glad it reinvented was like the suit being more armor, the glider wings, which rarely you just saw anything like that before the Nolan movies, and the tumbler as the Batmobile. That was a cool Batmobile because I'm glad that influenced later versions. That you see the Batmobile is this like it's like a tank and it's got this cool sleek look.
Yeah, I like the tank. I'm not opposed to that at all. I've liked almost every iteration of the Batmobile except for probably the Adam West one.
Yeah.
I mean, it fits the show. It's goofy. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I've never been a big fan of that one either.
What about you, Anomaly? What's the best Batmobile?
I mean, I like the Bat Tank, but what did you guys think of Schumacher's Batmobile? Just curious.
I'll say it has a neat design, even if it's kind of impractical, especially with how long it is. I'll at least give it looks cool, and I do kind of like that idea that it's not just a car, right? It's something you couldn't like buy at a dealership and get it souped up. It's something that's entirely unique to Batman.
Right.
I think one of my favorites is still the animated series one, and that has less to do with the car itself and more with the aesthetics of the world and the art style chosen.
Oh, I love like the Batman animated series version of Gotham, and it's a shame that we never have really gotten that in like any of the live action movies. Like the sort of neo modern like neo noir feel. Like it's got a lot of the
like Art Deco.
Yeah, it's got that like 1930s like architecture, but in the modern day, everything's all modern with the tech. But it's like everything is designed to be like old. Like you can tell that it's an old city that's been around for hundreds of years by
and contrasting that with Metropolis too, like when like the Justice League show was really cool.
I love that contrast because it fits the contrast of Batman and Superman so well. Like you have Superman, the Man of Tomorrow, the shining Boy Scout, and he's got this new like shining bright city, and then you got Batman, the dark hero of the DC Trinity, and he's got this gloomy, crime-ridden city. I'm like, I love it.
If I had to, like, I always did like one of the things I liked about Mask of the Phantasm when I watched it recently was how Gotham City looked. And I loved the animation. I thought it was a really good animation for the time. It came out in 1993. That movie, like, holy shit! And the animated series came out 92. It's nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah. It was the early 90s.
Yeah, that's wow.
I love that series.
Oh, there's a reason why animated series Batman is my icon here. I grew up watching Batman the animated series daily, like every day when it was on. I was watching it. I was obsessed as a kid.
Yeah. What do we have here? I just want to chat.
Give me 1 sec. If you want to go through chat, I'm gonna grab my coffee real quick.
That's fine.
Yeah, because we got some super chats.
Yeah. Bradley Rutledge. Hey guys. Hey.
Hello.
How are you? Robertson Cruz Ramirez. Hi guys. Hi. It's good to see you. Seeing you around. You have merely adopted the dark, but I was born with it.
Oh no, wait, no. I got to do this.
You merely adopted the dark, but I was born in it.
You got to cover your mouth.
Tom Hardy's good with voices. I mean, apparently, and I found this. I think Mando told me this. Like while I was making the Venom video. Like I had no idea that Tom Hardy also voiced Venom. Apparently,
yeah, he did both.
That's crazy. Like,
that's what I was saying. It was kind of weird seeing him play off himself. Like how hard that must be to do.
Well, oh yeah, like he's really good with voices. Like it's crazy because like the first time I saw him, I don't remember what it was, but he was playing like an American character or something. He didn't have his normal accent, and I didn't realize he didn't have an accent until I like saw an interview with him, and I'm like, oh yeah. And then and it's like every movie he's in, he's got a different voice, and it's all different. It's always different from his normal voice.
He's really good at voices. Yeah.
I feel like there's very few actual actors out there. Like Joaquin Phoenix is somebody that I love as an actor. He's kind of weird, but as an actor, I think he fills roles. And Tom Hardy's another person where I can see past Tom Hardy, and he really gets himself immersed into a character.
Yeah, it's like the Johnny Depp thing. When you see him in a role, like you don't see Johnny Depp. He transforms himself so thoroughly. You look at Jack Sparrow and Edward Scissorhands and Willy Wonka, and it's like these are like you don't look at that as Johnny Depp. He just becomes the character so entirely, and you can barely tell that it's the same actor for those roles. Like there are very few actors that transform themselves when they're playing the character so thoroughly.
Make Johnny Depp the Riddler. Let's do it.
Oh
yeah, God, he would honestly make a really cool Riddler. I know he's been a fan cast for a long time.
I'd be down. Has he really?
Yeah, a lot of people have been wanting it. I don't know how long. It's been a while. It's been years.
Oh, a fan cast. Oh, so someone like fans pick him for. Okay,
he'd be cool. Yeah. I'd like that.
I mean, he's an oddball, so I think he would suit the Riddler well.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if it's something more like the animated series Riddler, where he's got like the nice suit and stuff, and he's the genius designer,
eccentric egomaniac asshole.
Yeah, this is an aside, but I still love that the title of the episode, if you're so smart, why aren't you rich? And I'm like, I love that that's the Riddler's introductory episode title.
Life sucks, bro. Run me over with a Mack truck. Hey, Charlie, hang in there.
Hey, hey. You get to be here with friends, Charlie.
Yeah, you're here with friends now. Zan the man. Hey, guys. Hey.
Hello,
Mr. Zan.
Gollum, Andreas. Thoughts on Squid Game? First Nation, by the way. Oh, thank you. Squid. I haven't seen it, but I've seen the internet going nuts about it, and everyone's trying to like jump in on it, even though they don't really care too much about it. I don't know. Like, what gave Squid Game its traction? Because I honestly have no.
It's just really good.
Well, it's people are so desperate for any kind of good media, like anything that's not the garbage that they normally get, that the second they get something that doesn't suck, they're like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing of all time.
I think
sounds like Mandalorian to me, but
well, no, this show's I really like it. I'm only on the 3rd episode, but I'm really liking it. It's well acted, and a big part of it came from like for mainstream, or at least when I say mainstream, I mean people on Twitter. Is the director came out and he's like, this is a critique on capitalism. So everyone lost their shit and they're like, oh my God, it's amazing. Even though it's funny because the show does more to critique communism more than anything. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't think it's like anything. I don't want to say it's not visually groundbreaking because there's some really cool shots in it. Don't expect some crazy CGI shit because they try to pull off some crazy stuff. But like the character drama is really good.
Yeah. Personally, I had zero interest in the show.
You're just racist. It's because they're Korean.
No, I love anime.
Oh, now Japanese people are Koreans. Oh my God. All Asians are the same. Dude, I saw this funny picture and it was these 2 Asian girls and somebody just said Squid Game people.
Oh my God.
Then I forget who it is, but there's a Korean guy that I follow on Twitter and he's like, did you know there's a whole country of Squid Game people?
This is unrelated, but it's confirmed that Hayden Christensen will return as in the Ahsoka show. Well, that's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Is it going to be like how they could? I was going to say, is it going to be like flashbacks?
It'll have to be flashbacks because he's Vader after the Clone Wars, but like they'd have to de-age the shit. I mean, granted, Hayden Christensen looks very good for his age, but they're gonna have to de-age the shit out of him.
Yeah, yeah, because he was like 22 or so when he was
very young.
So yeah, like
young when he was
So yeah, and he's like, is he 40 now? I don't remember.
He's 40. Yeah, he's around 40, 42.
Yeah, so yeah, but he's middle aged now just because it's been like 20 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, he's going to have to like make it look, but then it's like, yeah, but I wonder like what they're gonna do because, well, frankly, I don't have any faith that they'll try to keep the canon because they keep hyping up the rematch of the century with the Obi-Wan show. I'm like,
oh God, I'm still trying not to think about that. Hello, boy. Hey, hello, boys, and especially hello to the Mando and his silky voice.
Hello. Did you post this stream, by the way, from the community tab?
Yeah, why?
Oh, I didn't get a notification.
Oh, that's normal.
YouTube. God damn it.
Yeah, I didn't actually get in a notification from this channel until like 15 minutes before the stream was starting. It was so weird because I'm like, I thought I was subbed to this channel, and then I was. It decided to bam, and then it gave me the thing afterwards. Nice.
Yeah. Well, what happens also was, I mean, that's weird because it usually sends out a thing when it's like half an hour before it starts. But I actually got, because like I'm subscribed to this channel too, with my other channel, just to know that
to pad the numbers a bit.
No, but like it's also to check if the notifications are working. And the weirdest thing is I got the notification for when this was starting, 14 minutes before the stream was starting instead of 30, which is, I was just like, what?
So yeah, that's about when I got it.
That's odd. It's really odd. But oh well, it's YouTube. It's normal. It's odd. I mean, we got to stop thinking this is odd because this is normal for YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the status quo.
But it's odd that it's normal.
It's odd that it's normal. Yes. The Tumblr makes sense, and I love it. I love. I like the Tumblr as well. What does it say? Not to make the Man of Steel argument, but this is supposed to be the up-and-coming rough draft Batman. Apparently this...
I don't have a problem with that, like, at all. Especially because, like, Batman Begins was very much like that, too. But, like, if you're a billionaire, you think you could... if he's going out and if he's at the level where he has like a walking around in a suit of armor, I would expect that he's at the level where he's that he would have better equipment than a souped up Charger.
Yeah, I mean he's a billionaire still.
Yeah, like you remember in Mask of the Phantasm when they showed Bruce when he was first trying to be a vigilante. When he was running around in like a mask and a ski mask and like trying to beat up criminals and it just didn't work. It wasn't until he came up with the bat suit that he like found his identity as and it was a cool suit. But yeah, it's like that was a cartoon. It wasn't like a suit of armor back then. But like with the modern Batman, I would think it would make more sense, especially if you want to be realistic. What realistically would a billionaire with like insane dedication to becoming a vigilante, how would he prepare himself? Well, he wouldn't be driving around in just a car. It would be decked out like way more than what we see. Like you wouldn't even have exposed tires, right? Because you would want to prevent any kind of blowouts. Like you see that with like the Batman the Animated Series design and even the Joel Schumacher design. The wheels are like inside the thing and they're completely covered. They can't just be shot. That's something I do appreciate about those designs.
Yeah, I think it's at a certain point we're gonna have to abandon some kind of pretense of there being realism, because after that hallway scene I'm like, there's no fucking way, because you're gonna have a conversation of, well, it's armor, which I fucking hate that line of logic, because even if it was armor, you try taking it one bullet in a bulletproof vest or any kind, even dragon scale armor, you're going to get the wind knocked out of you. It's going to fucking hurt so bad. And he takes two guys of sustained fire straight to his abdomen. There is
Point
no
blank.
fucking way you are, one, surviving that, or two, not getting severely winded.
Well, and it has to be like Iron Man level armor, which is a mech suit. Like that makes sense for Iron Man because it literally is just a giant roboticized high tech mech suit. But like the bat suit, it's never been outside of very specific circumstances where he wore special suits. It's never been a mech suit like that. He's had like light armor. And I like this is something that's kind of like mentioned in some of the newer comics where it's like his suit is made of like a really light, like very thin, like kind of sort of a special material weave that's like bulletproof and stuff. So he can move around fast and it has the same protection that you would have like of really, really good body armor. But it's like, but that will only go so far. He's still a human. That's why he has to use the shadows and use his stealth in order to fight.
Yeah, that's what I told him.
Yeah, he's not Superman. If Superman walked in and two guys tried to shoot him, of course he's just walking through that and not paying any mind. He's Superman, but not Batman.
That's what I was telling Anomaly. A way you can still do that scene and make it be Batman rather than Iron Man is, you have a dimly lit, shadowy room. He knocks out some of the lights, and like one of the lights could be swinging or they're off, and all you see is Batman like methodically taking people down, and you see him in flashes of gunfire, and he's kind of just moving his way up the hallway towards the camera while taking guys out. That's a way you do Batman.
Well, yeah,
in Dark Knight Rises, he like, remember the bit where he's like about to fight Bane and he's like going through the tunnels and the guy shoots him down a tunnel, kind of like in this new Batman trailer, but he's like jumping from side to side and trying to throw off his aim, and then he gets up close and then he hits, but he doesn't get hit. Like this Batman just doesn't even try to be stealthy. He just walks through it like it's nothing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like with Mando was saying, is like if you take that, but then you add in him using his gadgets, like he uses a grapple hook to pull a guy down, or he throws a batarang to knock the guns out of their hands, which he does in multiple like series. Yeah, he does that in the Batman the Animated Series opening.
Yeah,
where he throws a batarang and knocks the gun out of a guy's hand. It's like
fucking Zack Snyder did it. Even Zack Snyder can do it right.
I was gonna say, like, even Zack Snyder got that. Like, goodness gracious, if I'm giving Zack Snyder's Batfleck any praise, like, you've messed up.
I didn't mind Batfleck.
I like him, but I think that a lot of the character is over the top. It's very Frank Miller.
It's Zack Snyder, man, but I still.
Yeah, he's basically one step away from Crazy Steve from All-Star Batman and Robin.
Dude, that is my least favorite version of Batman, where he's just laughing maniacally in a car with this child crying next to him.
Dick Grayson, like, age 12.
Yeah, he's a fucking psychopath in there. Frank Miller is, I don't know, man. He's hit or miss.
Yeah, Frank Miller has done some good comics. He's also really kind of crazy.
Yeah, he's a crazy person.
What was I gonna say? Fucking, the Matt Reeves Batmobile reminds me of Neil Adams' Batmobile from the comics. Does anyone get that reference?
I mean, it's Neil Adams was a Batman artist. I think he was in the 70s, maybe early 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar.
Okay, I'm looking it up, and okay. So I'm not going to say that like in the comics there was never a Batmobile that looked like a souped up car, because a lot of the older ones were, right? Like but that was back when comics were far more goofy, and Batman. Right. I think it was really like starting in the 80s, in the post-crisis era. They did start taking things a little bit more seriously with Batman. And then they like, and there has been an evolution of the Batmobile, but that doesn't mean that when you're making your Batman origin story, you need to just, hey, this is in the comics, so let's just do that. Because in the comics, Superman once shot like rainbow lasers from his hands. You don't need to have everything from the comics.
Then you have there was Rainbow Batman, where he had all these different colored suits.
Oh yeah, I remember. Oh yeah,
you had Zebra Batman.
Oh, there was Baby Batman.
Batmite.
Baby Batman. Yeah.
You had that was Zurin Tunar Batman, which I think was no, that wasn't Neil Adams. What's his fucking name? I hate him. I don't hate him as a person. I don't know who he is, but I don't like his concepts for Batman. He made Flamingos a fucking Batman villain. It drives me insane. And now I'm blanking on his name because I want to rage about him, but whatever. I'll move on. I'll think about it and I'll shout it out.
Right. I was gonna say
Grant Morrison. It's fucking Grant Morrison. That's who it was.
Oh yeah. Wait, wasn't he the guy who also killed off Damian Wayne?
Yeah, but I think he created Damian too.
Yeah. Death of the Author. I'm going to say you don't get to do, because oh gosh, the way they killed off Damian was so stupid.
With the giant baby.
Oh, the giant baby, and the fact that Talia was like totally down with it. I'm like, no, stop ruining Talia.
I hate. So for those who don't know, he did Batman Incorporated, which was Batman's idea to have Batman around the world, which I fucking hate. I think it's dumb. And
sounds weird.
I don't like anything that Grant Morris did. Or if I do, it's so minimal that I can't even think about it right now. But yeah, he killed Damian. It was a clone of Damian, and he took off this mask because he was this big ass dude with this cool helmet, and then the helmet gets knocked off, and he looked like a Cabbage Patch Kid. It's like a fucking weird clone of Damian, and it kills him.
They were like hyper accelerated to age faster. It was so dumb.
One of the only New 52 Batman series I didn't really get into.
Yeah. But, and it really pisses me off because there's a continual like ruination of like Talia's character in that regard. Like there's a reason why her nickname for Bruce is my beloved. She loves Bruce, like genuinely loves him. And despite what DC will want to tell you now, originally Damian was just simply conceived when Talia and Bruce were married for a short time. Because the original idea of this was Bruce and Talia got married, but due to the stress of hero and villain, and she had torn loyalties between him and her father, the marriage fell apart. But I think this was hinted at like years ago, but it took them to introduce Damian for it to come around. But like they implied that she and Bruce had a child, and you see it, and it was very simply just they had a kid, they slept together, but the marriage dissolved before she was visibly pregnant. Which that makes sense. And then she didn't tell him because it's like you don't want to burden him with the news of, hey guy, I got a kid, I want child support kind of a thing.
Right.
But then when he comes in and she allows Damian to live with Bruce and be with him, regardless of the fact that he is the heir to the Al Ghul legacy. She allows him to be with his father because she loves Bruce and she wants Damian to be happy. It's like I love that. I love the depth of Talia's character, except when they ruin her and then they make her just evil and stuff. And they've been ruining her for years because they decided to, for some reason, retcon Damian's origins to they didn't just sleep together. She drugged him and date raped him to get pregnant.
What?
Yes.
She fucked him after she drugged him in the desert.
Yeah, it's
you've already this already sounds like a dumpster fire.
Yep,
done.
And it's so stupid. It's and then they just make her more and more evil. I'm like, stop! It was fine. It's already interesting enough that she loved Bruce, but because she still was loyal to her father, they couldn't maintain the marriage, so they broke off. And she just had the kid that she trained as an assassin. And there is an interesting idea when Damian first shows up that he's ruthless in trying to kill villains. And then Bruce has to break him of that habit. Yeah. Because he's if you're associated with me, we don't kill. And I like that. And in fact, the time when Bruce was gone and Dick was Batman and he had Damian as his Robin was really fascinating because you had cheery, lighthearted, the heart of the DC universe, Dick Grayson as Batman. And then you had this demon ninja kid as his Robin. And you had the grumpy, joyful character of Batman and Robin flipped. It was I love that idea so much.
Right. And the little rivalry that he had. He was always trying to prove that he was the son, the real one.
Yeah, he was the one, and he was competitive with the other Robins, and he didn't like Tim Drake because he's your competition. There's so much good stuff that you can explore with that, but then they just decide to go nope, we're done, we'll kill him.
Batman the Animated Series inspired Todd McFarlane's Spawn on HBO. Oh, didn't know that.
Did not know that. I love McFarlane's Spawn or Batman though.
Charlie Spur lost love of my life to another guy. Sorry to hear that, pal. Plenty of fish in the sea.
You lost everyone to Mando though. We all
shut the fuck up. I have no part in this.
Andrew Wisebean. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that. Is that
Wisebean?
Wisebean. What's up, dudes? What's up? It's good to see you. Yeah, man.
You read this super chat, and there's something I wanted.
Yeah. Can confirm with what Mando said about armor and a constant spray. Don't ask how or why I have the experience.
Yeah, we know you're a vigilante dressed like a bat in your spare time. There's no need to hide it.
Yeah. Andrew has a good point. Frodo even got fucked up with the spear by the troll, even when he had his mithril shirt on. And yeah, I actually say in my Lord of the Rings, when I was criticizing Fellowship, even though I adore Fellowship, I think it's one of the best fucking fantasy movies ever, if not the best. I like the Fellowship of the Ring, guys. Okay, okay.
Fellowship's cool.
Fellowship's amazing. But I just wanted to make a video just criticizing it if I could. And I found some stuff.
Well, you didn't.
Nothing worth.
You left out that Tolkien was a racist, obviously.
that dirty Catholic.
Anyway. No, but seriously, I basically say that, I mean, there's Andrew's point here, but absolutely. The spear, almost made Frodo go unconscious because it probably crushed his chest and made the, I heard something if you very heavily compress your chest very sharply, it it causes you to go unconscious, like you faint because the oxygen kind of gets forced out of you or something. I don't know. I think my brother told me that or some shit. Anyway, but I basically said that like that wouldn't just like cause him. That wouldn't just fuck him up like that. That would just like I'm pretty sure his ribs would get crushed by that spear. But anyway.
Yeah, there's parts of these movies where you kind of just be like, it's a fucking movie. Which here's the thing, like with the Batman armor stuff, if I would be slightly, ever so slightly less bothered by it if they explain why that's so strong, and also they would need to slow him down. We would need like he's newer, he's a younger Batman, inexperienced, so he needs some extra padding and some extra protection, but he's bulkier and slowed down.
Yeah.
But they're not going that route. He looks very nimble, especially in that one Fight Club scene, which is really reminiscent of the Dark Knight, where he meets what was Falcone? I can't remember. Yeah, he dropped him off. He dropped him off the ledge. But yeah, he's too quick to have armor that's that thick.
Yeah. Like that's the trade-off, right? Do you want speed or do you want protection?
Yep. I like that they addressed that too in The Dark Knight when they gave him his new suit, and he's like, "Yeah, it's stronger against guns, but you'll be vulnerable because of the spacing in the armor plates to like knives." I was like, "Yeah, trade-off. I like that. Good."
One of the things that bugs me about it is just in this trailer is just how blatant it is. It's just like he's not even trying to dodge the bullets. He's just like walking through it like the Terminator. I'm like.
Yeah, then what's the point? Why do I care? Why am I afraid?
Like I said, Dark Knight Rises, he was like trying to creep up on the gunman, and the gunman was trying to shoot him. Like there's a sequence in Dark Knight. It's when him and Catwoman are descending into Bane's underground lair, and that did it better. Even though I have my problems with Dark Knight Rises, I still enjoy Dark Knight Rises. Don't get me wrong. And geez, I thought Talia al Ghul was fucked up in that fucking movie. And then you guys tell me about this other version.
Oh yeah. Like don't get me wrong. I still hate how they ruined Talia in that, but like they have long since been ruining Talia in the comics. And something that Robinson Ramirez said in the chat, like the story that I'm saying is from the movie Son of the Batman. Yeah, there were movies. They were animated movies that I hate. I watched Son of the Bat. And it was bad, and they used the date rape version of that, and I mean it was a terrible movie all around, especially because Ra's al Ghul dies, and he's like literally
Ra's al Ghul.
I will kill you.
It's Ra's al Ghul, you motherfucker.
It's Ra's. It's the winged dragon of Ra's.
I hate that.
But yeah, like Ra's al Ghul, like he dies in the beginning of the movie, and he is, and I'm not joking, he's crawling, he's like burned to death or something. It was something like really like serious injury, and he's like crawling to the Lazarus pit, and he is like 5 feet away from it. And then they walk up and they're like, he's dead, we can't do anything, he's gone. I'm like, push him, he'll come back to life. That's the whole point of the Lazarus pit. Literally, you kick him and he'll fall in. I was so frustrated.
What was I gonna say? Fucking I was just thinking Ra's al Ghul. No. There's a reason why I'm calling him Ra's. Like, doesn't that sound like more Egyptian than? Isn't he?
Well, Ra's sounds like Ra.
Chinese?
That's why.
That's what I mean. Yeah, Ra from Egyptian mythology.
Yeah,
like Ra's al Ghul. Yeah. He's always going to be Ra's al Ghul in my heart.
I can assure you that if it was back in the 30s or the 40s when people created these characters, they'd be like Ra's al Ghul because it sounds fucking really foreign when you say Ra's. Raish, a little less so, but maybe. But yeah.
And it's always been Raish. I mean, like, and Hellblazer says this, and I was actually going to bring this up anyway. Technically, you can pronounce that name both ways. But in the way that it was always pronounced in other media before Nolan, it was always Raish. Like if you had Kevin Conroy say that name, and he'll call him Raish. He says that in Batman animated series. He says that in I think Batman Beyond. Yeah. And I remember in Batman Beyond, there's even a scene where he corrects Terry on how to say the name because I think he correct me if I'm wrong because I haven't watched Batman Beyond since it first aired, but I think he calls him Roz, and then he's like, "No, it's pronounced Raish." So
wrong, little bitch, is a Raish.
Yeah, and
that's the actual line.
Yeah, and in the Arkham games, like, it's pronounced Raish. Which, and by the way, like Raish is dead in the first Arkham Asylum game, You find his corpse, and it's gone once you complete the game, and then he comes back in Arkham City. And he's kind of like old and decrepit, and he steps into the Lazarus pit, and he comes out looking like he's like 45 again. And I'm like, gosh, I'm so salty that they completely omitted the Lazarus pits in Batman Begins. I like Batman Begins. It's the only Batman movie I find tolerable, but like the fact that they refuse to incorporate the Lazarus pits because it's so unrealistic. And I'm like, yeah, mother effer, you picked the semi-immortal ninja eco-terrorist as your main antagonist. You've already thrown apart like realism.
Well, plus you have Scarecrow. And if you're already talking about fear toxins and shit that can make you see really crazy stuff, like why not have this medical liquid thing that can make somebody live forever?
Yeah.
Why not?
And it really pisses me off when fake Al Ghul shows up in like the end of Batman Begins, and he's like, "Is Ra's al Ghul immortal? Are his methods supernatural?" And the first time I watched that movie as a kid, I was like, "Yeah." He goes into the lab. Like, what are you on? I'm like, it was that Nolan taking a shot at the unrealistic stuff in the comics. I'm like, you picked Ra's al Ghul as your antagonist. You don't get to cut out the thing that's kept him alive for hundreds of years.
They changed the name too, didn't they? Was it League of Assassins? Or no, it was League of Shadows.
Yeah. It's League of Shadows in the movie. It is the
League of Assassins.
Yeah, in the comics. It's just weird.
I think League of Shadows sounds better, to be perfectly honest. It
sounds like the Edgelord version.
Yeah.
because League of Assassins is like, it's too...
They're ninjas.
That makes sense.
They're
ninjas. They're ninjas. They're assassins. That's what they are.
Well, I think they could have found... Okay, maybe not Shadows. Like, I prefer Shadows, but maybe they should call themselves the League of something.
Extraordinary Gentlemen.
The League of Extraordinary Ninjas. No, I don't know. Just look... I don't know... Come up with a fucking name for those warriors. Like,
here's a good one.
The League of Assassins. There we go.
Yeah, I like
the League of Ghouls because of
Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul.
That's so cringe.
Anyway, I don't know. Like, I just think Assassins is just like outright saying what they are, which is just kind of. I mean, if you're meant to be assassins, I don't think you call yourselves the League of Assassins, but
they'll call themselves the League of Totally Good Guys.
Yeah. Part of being an assassin is you're not meant to. People know you're an assassin.
You remember that meme? We call ourselves the good guy team. It's like we're the League of. We call ourselves the good guy team, and we call our opponents the bad guys. Therefore, we're the good guys. Which I mean, technically, it's kind of how they function because they're like, we're saving the world by killing people. Yay!
How the fuck are you supposed to know what you're ordering from Amazon from the League of Shadows? You don't know what you're getting. At least from the League of Assassins, you know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, anyway, finish what you're gonna say.
Yeah, just finish one thought real quick. I do like that Batman Begins had the idea that he trained with the League of Assassins. I don't recall that being in any of the comics before. I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge, but I think it was Nolan's that really introduced that. And I like the idea that like he rebelled because he refused to kill. And I like that idea. I've always liked that idea, and I kind of like that they brought that back in the Arkham games because when you play there's DLC for Arkham Origins where you play as Bruce in training at the League of Assassins, and it's really cool, especially when you get to train against Lady Shiva. I love it. And you do all the training missions where it's basically a bunch of challenge maps, but they contextualize it as part of his training, and I'm like, I really like that. I like
that. Charlie Spur, love you guys. Yeah, man, we're all friends here. Back at ya.
Love you, baby.
There was even a Batman with a gun. Yeah, wasn't that Snyder's?
That was the original Batman.
Oh.
Yeah, the original Batman carried guns, and then DC was like, "Hey, we need kids to read this fucking book. What do we do?" And then
wasn't that the time when they had like the moral code that they had to follow?
Yep.
Yeah. Like, so they eventually reinvented Batman's character, and I like it. It's done for the better, and they over the years they incorporated it more into his character, so it's not just a generic "I don't kill." It's I watched my parents die in front of me, being mercilessly gunned down, and I refused. I just don't accept killing as an option, and and that's why he hates guns too. It's also rooted.
It's also why we have Robin. because it was more kid friendly. They wanted to brighten up the character, so they introduced Robin. But what's funny, in the first Batman comic ever, Detective 27, I think he kills 2 or 3 people, and I think he throws. I don't remember if it was in the first one or not. I have to reread it, but he throws the Joker off the cliff. Basically, he's just like, "All right, goodbye." He wasn't supposed to be a returning character. He also breaks somebody's neck. They're like looking out of a window, and he swing kicks them, and it snaps their neck. And then he throws somebody into a vat of acid. So like, he didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, like original Batman was a rough, especially because he also had bright purple gloves, and he looked really, really goofy. Yeah, like
back then that was scary. That was intimidating.
Yeah, I mean, back then, like that was a time when they were like forming the superhero genre. So yeah, they were trailblazing, and they didn't figured everything out. It would take a while for characters like Batman and Superman to really like evolve into what we know of them, like the modern incarnations that, well, I say modern, but like in the last like 30, 40 years of what these characters would become.
Yeah.
Zan, I don't think Superman was misogynist from the 1940s. I think that's just how it was. I think he was just like, come here, toots, and then gave somebody a slap on the ass.
Yeah. But the 1940s were wild.
Yeah.
What a time.
Ace, how you doing, man? It's been a while. I don't think Frank Miller is crazy like some people think, but the 2000s was just a low point for him creatively. Supposedly, he had a drinking problem at the time.
Have you seen that man's art? You fucking tell me he's not crazy. It's Picasso.
Yeah, it's not really up for argument if he's crazy or not. I'm not saying he's never done anything and he never had any like influence in the comics here, like in the comic, like the business. He did. He's extremely influential, but he is crazy.
Yeah, I don't think he deserves to get canceled and everyone spurg out on him and call him a racist and everything, because he's not. He's very, very progressive. Like, you read his Dark Knight Returns, the one that was released a couple years ago, which was like the third installment of his Dark Knight. He's very progressive, so it's really weird to see people freak out over him.
What was I going to say? I know very little about that, but Ghost has an interesting... Thanks for Super Chat, Ace. I appreciate it. Ghost has an interesting take on it. He says 9/11 affected him. Basically, he made something called Holy Terror because of 9/11.
Yeah, Holy Terror was... Now, it's funny. Holy Terror got like a lot of flack before. Like, it's not the first time that he's gotten in trouble, because it was like kind of like anti-Muslim and stuff. So yeah, I mean, Holy Terror was like a venting thing, and yeah, he has problems. Like, I'm not going to say like he never had any problems and stuff, but like, yeah, he did. The 2000s was when he stopped being seen as like a really influential Batman creator, because he did a lot of stuff like Year One and stuff, but like that was when his career started to be seen as a little bit of, oh wow, you're kind of crazy. He still did work, and unfortunately, he still made All-Star Batman and Robin, which is, oh boy,
I hate that book.
But I hate it so
beautiful
much.
Art though. Jim Lee is amazing.
Jim Lee is a god of art.
Vid's the editor. Garfield Lynn's, aka Firefly, is a really underrated Batman villain. He's an arsonist with a jetpack and wants to melt Batman's face.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of Firefly until I think me and Palpameme reacted to this trailer a week ago.
I
had no idea Firefly existed.
Yeah, I actually chimed in during the chat at that time, because I wasn't watching the stream. I was doing some other stuff, but like I chimed in for that, and I remember that. And I was like, no, Firefly is a Batman villain. I was actually really delighted when he was included in Arkham Origins.
Yeah,
as he was one of the people trying to kill Batman for the money from
spoilers. Come on.
No,
well, I mean, he's in the trailers.
Yeah, it's not a spoiler. They tell you a lot of the assassins going after.
Well, at the
him.
very beginning, literally the beginning, they go through the list of the assassins that are coming in.
Right.
Yeah, I love it. And Bane, oh my gosh, Bane was god tier in that game.
He was really good.
And I was so delighted. He was strong, he was smart, he was cunning, and I love it. And they actually explained why he's not as cunning in the other games. I'm like, I won't go into the details of the story, but like he has a story arc in it. I love it. I especially love it when he's instead of trying to go out and find Batman, he gets the most infamous villain they have, and he sits him down and he sits in the room with him, and he's like, I'll wait for the bat to come here. because he's gonna come after you, and
Smart.
I'll be. Yeah, I'm like, thank you. Like, yes, he's using him as bait to lure Batman in. I was like, yes. I'm sorry.
Batman needs more mentally stimulating villains, and that's why I'm really hoping we get that in this movie.
See, and that's the unfortunate thing, and the Nolan version was guilty of this as well. But like, frankly, even all of the live action ones are guilty of this to some extent or another. They drop the detective stuff to focus more on him fighting. And I'm like, he's not known as the world's greatest martial artist. He's known as the world's greatest detective. There's a reason why Ra's al Ghul calls him detective.
Roz.
I will kill you. Yeah, but it's like his intelligence is what sets him apart, because anyone can train to be like strong, but like it's the fact that Bruce trained himself to not be just strong, to not be a master escape artist, to not know, not just have an encyclopedic knowledge of everything he could find, but to also be really intelligent and be a detective and to discover clues. Like that's what makes Batman really interesting, and that's why. And I think I commented on this in the stream before about the Batman, but like one of the things that I love about Batman so much is because there's so many crazy over the top villains. Some of them are even mystical in nature. And then you have Batman, who's a guy, he's a man. Yeah. He's trained himself to peak human condition, but that's not enough to go up against someone like Bane or Ra's al Ghul or the Mad Hatter or the Joker or Clayface. Yeah, I love Clayface. It's like, yeah, you need to be smart as well, and that's the thing that sets him apart from a lot of other heroes. He's not just, strong as a fighter. He's also really smart. This is why, this is another reason why he's so valuable to the Justice League. It's not that he fights better than Superman or Wonder Woman or the Flash. He can't. Physically, he can't match any of them. But he's smart. That's why, during the Tower of Babel, I think it's called the Tower of Babel.
Tower of Babel.
Yeah, and then that was adapted into the movie. I forgot what the animated movie was called, but it was the fact that they showed that Batman had a contingency plan to take down every member of the Justice League, and he had all of their weaknesses analyzed and had plans to dispatch of basically all of them really quickly in case any of them turned. And the story of that is that bad guys get a hold of these contingency plans and use them against the Justice League.
Right.
So then they all of a sudden are like, hey, you had all of this stuff against us, and they're like, what was your contingency plan? And I love this so much. You know what I'm gonna say? He was like, my contingency plan to stop me is the Justice League. He's like,
I think I remember seeing that clip actually.
So
I have
good.
very limited I have very limited knowledge of the animated series and the Justice League animated series or whatever, even though I did watch I think the first 7 episodes when I was a kid, and I liked it. I just didn't stick with it. But I do remember seeing a clip where it's they were really getting on Batman's case. But how could you have all this in place and not tell us? And then I think, did Batman get excommunicated from the Justice League episode or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I remember him kind of walking off with Superman.
That's not a Justice League show.
This was a movie.
This is a movie. And I just looked it up.
Okay,
It was Justice League Doom, and I highly recommend checking that one out. I actually really enjoyed it, especially the way that they tried to deal with Batman, and it was I won't spoil everything in it, but that was the thing that I always really like about that. It's Batman is smart, and it's a shame that it's so rare that you see that, and it's really in some of the shows that you see it. In Batman the Animated Series, there's a lot of time where Bruce he's on the computer doing investigations, trying to figure out stuff. And the unfortunately canceled too soon Beware the Batman also focused on Bruce being intelligent, and I love it so much, especially because they have him going full Sherlock Holmes on people. And when he first meets Tatsu and he sees her interact with Alfred, and he's immediately observing their body language, and he's like, I see you guys have a father-daughter relationship. from the way you're acting around each other. I'm like, yes, thank you. Batman's supposed to be smart and observant. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And that Beware the Batman also showed that Batman would visit the criminals that he puts away and he would talk to them, which is it's such an his empathy is so underrated, especially because like when he goes to one of the prisons, like because Magpie, she was an early villain who showed up. When he walks by and she's like, "Did you come to see me again?" And he was like, "It's sorry, Magpie, not today," because he goes and visits them regularly to talk to them because he wants to help his villains. That's important.
Cool. Let's just. I just want to get to these super chats real quick. There's a couple of. It's all right. It's just I got to get through a couple of these, and then we're gonna watch the trailer, and then we're gonna come back to discussion. Okay. And thanks, Vids, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Damien, remember who the blood son is? Remember who the favorite son is? Anyone want to fill in on this?
Damien
it's a quote.
Damien is Bruce's biological son, but Dick is the one who he raised the longest. So he's the first.
I see.
Yeah, so that's like he's like I am father's true son, and he's like, well, I'm his favorite. Yeah,
right, and his favorite because like Dick is Robin. Yes, Dick Grayson.
Dick was the original Robin. He's the oldest of all the kids, so he was the first. So he's like, I'm the favorite.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. The story of Batman 229 is telling where in the movies. The story that Batman 229 is telling. Where in the movies, Son of Batman, Batman vs. Robin, and Batman Bad Blood. Yeah,
that was what I was talking about earlier.
Okay,
I brought up.
I heard Bad Blood was fucking garbage. I haven't watched it yet, but I have it. I just never watched it.
I watched Son of Batman, and it reviled me so much. I didn't watch any of the other like sequels to it.
A lot of the newer DC animated just hasn't been doing it for me.
I know, it's such a shame because a lot of their animated movies up till about 10-ish years ago were pretty good.
Yeah.
Not all of them were amazing, but like they had a few stinkers here and there, but a lot of them were pretty good that you could watch it and you could get a great experience of usually adapting certain stories from the comics. Like Justice League Doom adapting the Tower of Babel.
I love that movie.
And a Batman Under the Red Hood. That's still
really good.
It's like, and it took the original story, cut out a lot of the weird nonsensical stuff, cut the fat, and it made that story better, especially because they changed the context for how Jason Todd comes back. And oh my gosh, this is such a smart change, because in the original comics, and you're going to laugh about this anomaly, the way Jason Todd came back was that Superboy Prime, crazy Superboy who grew up and became a crazy bad guy, he punched the walls of reality so hard, it changed things. And don't ask for context. It doesn't make any more sense. So
so he punched the walls of reality, and what happened?
Jason Todd came back to life.
And Jason Todd is
Jason Todd. He was the second Robin. He died in Death in the Family when the Joker killed him. Yeah. So
Death in the Family. He didn't. No one.
No. That was a cheap. They copied the name Death in the Family.
You talking about the movie?
No.
Okay, so I read New 52 Death in the Family.
There's a New
that's different.
That's Death of the Family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just a cheap attempt to try to like nostalgia bait for that name. I hate everything
because the Joker was gonna kill everybody that night. That was the whole thing. And then you had to read all these fucking tie-ins to get a full picture.
He was, and then he was, and then he just kind of pussed out at the end. He didn't do it.
I hate New 52 Joker. I hate that he ripped off his face.
Yeah, cut off his face, and then Joker's daughter gets it.
Yeah.
He's too much of a narcissist to damage his own face like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. He's crazy. He's not that fucking insane.
Yeah, but I did want to get back to what I was saying is in the Under the Red Hood movie, they changed it so that Ra's al Ghul was involved in the incident that killed Jason Todd, and he felt so because he didn't plan for that to happen. The Joker went off the rails, and he felt so guilty about that he tried to bring Jason Todd back to life. He dunked him in the Lazarus pit, and he came back a little bit wrong because the Lazarus pit does have really bad side effects, especially for prolonged use. so Jason Todd came back, and there's a bit of a discussion in that movie that I really love of, is Jason Todd's more violent gun-toting like personality a part of who he was, or was this a side effect of the Lazarus Pit? I'm like, that actually is an interesting discussion. Like, is him being far more violent? It's like, yeah, because they did sort of reinvent his character. Instead of being a copy paste of Dick Grayson, they did make him a bit more of the rougher or more violent Robin, but he was never like as bad as he was as the Red Hood. It's a really interesting, and I highly recommend checking that out. Like, it's Batman Under the Red Hood and Justice League Doom. Those are two good animated movies to check out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I plan to watch a whole bunch more Batman animated stuff. And I want to take a bit of a dive into the pre-New 52 comics so I can get a sense of why people don't seem to like him very much. Because I'm divorced from anything pre-New 52 comics-wise.
Oh, so, you probably won't care as much.
Comics.
A lot of the hate from the New 52 is real. I came in mainly to comics during the New 52. When I started working at a comic book store, I started 3 days after the first issue of the New 52 came out for all the characters. But think of it's a little bit different because comics like to reboot a lot, especially the DC universe. They have crises all the time. But the New 52 was kind of seemed like a pretty big slap in the face, kind of like Disney getting rid of the Star Wars expanded universe. And it was just they were doing things that were muddying this timeline way more than anyone had seen before.
Like the Batman timeline was always kind of pretty well understood of how long he's been operating, but then they were like, we're cramming his entire history into like, what was it, 5 years? Yeah.
Which was really weird. And then you had other characters like Green Lantern didn't get rebooted. So Jeff Johns, because he was a high up at DC, I think he was the fucking president, I can't remember. But anyway, he writes Green Lantern, and he was like, hey, we're going to reboot, except for my character. And it's like, okay, that's weird. So it did a lot of fuckery with the timeline.
Right. And there's a lot of stupid stuff that they changed, like Barbara Gordon just suddenly getting cured, and she's not anymore.
Charlie's got a question here. How do you feel about Damian and Raven in the DCAU?
What?
Are they dating?
Damian x Raven. I'm guessing they're a couple.
Oh, neither of those characters are in the DCAU.
Okay. What about? I
Maybe
guess he means
Injustice?
the comics then.
Well, no, they're not. Damian's not in the that either.
Oh, you mean like the Bruce Timm animated universe stuff, right?
Yeah. Are you? Is there another movie you're talking about? Because they've made a number.
Maybe he means overall DC animate, like this New 52 one.
Well, okay, so maybe he's making the mistake some people have made, where they kind of class every animated DC movie as DCAU. The DCAU is a very specific set of shows, like Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, and Justice League. Like, that's the DCAU. That is its own universe, and it has continuity within itself. The other animated movies do not have continuity within the other Batman properties and other like DC properties.
Right.
So yeah, please, if you're referring to one of the other movies that they're in, please don't call that DCAU because that's very confusing.
Slap in the face.
Yeah, it's a slap in the face.
Hang on, this is thanks for the super chat, Charlie. Sorry I couldn't help you out more there. I'm not. These guys are more Batman experts than I am. Andrew says, let's make a poll so we can vote on how the pronunciation should go for Mr. Al Ghul. No, it's Raz.
There are no numbers. There is only the truth.
That's Raz Al Ghul. Look at this. Ra, the sun god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Ra immortal or his method supernatural? He's a god.
Qasim Jabba, as someone who knows Arabic, I can confirm it's pronounced Raz.
No, it can be pronounced as both. Like it genuinely can, but in the race, the character it's pronounced Raish Al Ghul.
That's the only reason why we fucking call him Raish. I don't care. It's just like that's what we heard first.
Yeah, that is his name. Raz is. It's frankly a propaganda from Christopher Nolan.
Cool, man. No, magic is not realistic.
I know. I can hear Christopher Nolan like screaming, "No, Lazarus don't exist. They're dumb and stupid."
In The Dark Knight Rises, he says, "I told you I was immortal."
A hallucination of him.
That's true.
I do not accept that.
Hey, Jason. There we go.
Momoa.
Assassins doesn't really cover what they're all about. I prefer Shadows. I prefer Shadows too.
This is a conspiracy
and I think,
theory.
Where'd he go? There was a
Regardless of what,
Jonker. Jonker had a good League of Shadows sounds more ominous. That's why I prefer it. Yes.
it doesn't really matter what you prefer. They are the League of Assassins. Like there is
Roz.
Roz and the League of Shadowy People. Ooh.
There are no opinions. There are no numbers. There is only the truth.
There is only Raish.
True,
There's only
the
Raish
truth,
in the
but
League of Assassins.
there's only the truth, but I prefer the other versions sometimes. The other pronunciations.
Facts don't care about your feelings and all.
Yeah, Raish doesn't care about your feelings.
But Roz does, and that's why I love Roz.
Ra, the sudden god.
You know, now I need like Ra's al Ghul is like Ben Shapiro.
Please, yes.
Ra's al Ghul Batman with facts and logic.
Yeah.
Talia doesn't care about your consent, Batman.
I really gotta catch up here. Noms, do you have any interest in the upcoming game Gotham Knights, since the Court of Owls are the main antagonists? Sounds very interesting to me. It's been a while since I've read the comic, but I very much enjoyed.
Gotham Knights looks so cringe.
Too bad the fucking lead writer is an insane SJW. Yes, it's a game.
I thought it was, it's woke. I'm not interested.
Yeah. Basically, they're taking what could have been a really interesting idea of like, let's actually get all the Bat family members involved, and then it's like, it looks like, I remember seeing gameplay. It looked like the Avengers game.
Yeah, it does a lot. It doesn't look good, and I don't like the whole fucking level gating thing. It's like, you're a superhero. Why are you getting level gated by thugs?
It's you already had such a great version of like progression in like the Arkham games. It's like, you get new equipment and it unlocks new routes. It's Metroidvania in that regard.
Yeah, exactly. It's a different form of gating.
No one can beat Batman 1989, Batman Returns, and Batman Forever. The new movie's probably gonna suck. I love Batman Begins, Dark Knight. I enjoy Dark Knight Rises. I enjoy Batman and Robin for the laughs. I haven't seen the first Batman and Batman Returns. And Batman Forever,
the original ones?
Batman Forever I enjoy for the laughs as well, but it's been a while since I've seen that too.
Yeah, Batman and Robin.
What I really like about and I'll say is, like, unironically, what I love about Schumacher's Batman films, I actually really like the way Gotham City looked. I think it's actually something that it did right to an extent. Like, it actually felt like a fictional, however you described Commander City. Like, for example, when Jim Carrey's Edward Nygma throws his boss out the window, like, you can see outside his window, like, you have those like tall fucking like weird looking skyscraper buildings, like from Mask of the Phantasm, like in the backdrop, which I love about that Gotham.
I like
also Arkham
Burton's
Asylum
Gotham.
looked interesting. Wayne Manor looked interesting. I have to go back and rewatch some, like, just the building. It felt interesting, felt unique and distinguished. Whereas the closest thing we've gotten to that since then is Batman Begins.
Yeah, it's weird. After Batman Begins, it's like Nolan stopped trying to make Gotham look distinctive, and he's like, it's just Chicago or something.
That
whatever.
Really pissed me off about Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises for that matter. Like,
which is funny,
like,
because
I was like, when people were saying, you got to check out the Dark Knight, Knobs, I'm like, all right, and I did, and I'm pretty sure I've told you guys the Wally story about how I first saw the Dark Knight, and it completely fucked up my viewing experience. So I'll say, if you want to hear it again, I'll tell you, but I'd rather just get this point across. But when I saw it open up, and I was just like, this doesn't look anything like a Batman movie. Wayne Manor's gone. Gotham City's personality is gone. The only time it even looks vaguely like Gotham City is when Batman's facing down the Joker with his bat pod, and Joker's begging him to kill him. Well, not begging him. He's like goading him. He's like, "Come on, hit me!" Like, that kind of looked a bit like Gotham City, but maybe because it was at night as well. But other than that, I can't name like one thing unique about the Dark Knight's Gotham City. It's completely bare bones and generic. Yeah, I thought it was very disappointing about the Dark Knight.
Which sucks because Gotham is. It sounds so
It looks
fucking
cool.
cliche to say this, but Gotham is a character within itself, and you cannot understate how important that city is.
Just like New York is a character in the Spider-Man movies, like the movies and the comics, like the way like in the animated series, like New York, it's New York City, but it is not New York City. You got like all these weird scientific buildings, Oscorp, the Daily Bugle, like all these weird looking buildings, and
I loved Gotham in the Joker. I really like that. It felt claustrophobic. It felt very chaotic, and it felt dirty. And that's exactly what I picture Gotham to be, and the kind of people that would be, sent into madness by living in that squalor. You could see why people would lose their fucking minds and turn to a life of crime or something in that. Which I really wish... I'm really torn with wanting to see Batman in that world. I know Cool Man doesn't, but...
I do not like the Joker universe at all. Like just
I didn't even know there was a Joker universe.
Well, it's like the one movie that they're gonna expand on.
Yeah, like it's that I don't like it because it's trying to be all the stuff about like that connects it to the Batman mythos is superfluous. Like you could have called it Angry Clown Boy and it wouldn't have made a single bit of difference. Because if you took it out and you just replaced all the characters who were named after Batman characters, like Arthur Fleck, that's not the Joker. That's just a new character that they called the Joker. It's just it just infuriates me because it can be well made. I don't care about that, but I care about the fact that it's an absolute piss poor adaptation because it's trying to use the Batman characters for what is functionally an entirely new story that has nothing to do with
Batman. Okay. I will never forgive what Batman and Robin did to Mr. Freeze and Bane.
Yes.
And I will never stop loving Batman and Robin for what they did to Mr. Freeze. They chose Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze and gave him the best one-liners of all time.
Freeze is my favorite Batman villain.
Okay, so here's the thing about that. Like the problem is not the goofy stuff because originally, and I was actually thinking about this earlier today, Mr. Freeze used to be just sort of a goofy D-list villain. It wasn't until Batman the Animated Series completely reinvented him with a sympathetic story about his wife who's suffering from an illness that she's going to die from. So he put her in like a cryostasis in order to keep her alive. But he himself has been injured to the point where he needs the suit to survive. So he does all of the crime in order to find a way to save his wife. So it's very sympathetic that you can feel for him. But other than like, that was so good that became the standard version of Mr. Freeze in the comics.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that you can't do a silly, goofy version of Mr. Freeze. And the problem with that version, the movie, the Schwarzenegger version of Mr. Freeze, was that they tried to do both versions at the same time. They tried to have him be goofy, silly, and wacky, while also giving him the super sympathetic, deep, nuanced backstory. And when you watch the movie, you get this freaking whiplash of him playing like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer stuff, and then it's like he sees his wife and he's like going to bring her back. I'm like, oh my gosh, pick one or the other. If they had cut out the whole stuff with the wife and he was just a crazy villain, it would have drastically improved it because then you could at least just say he's just a silly Batman villain.
Okay. Yes, he's saying they basically, I think, because I remember you telling me this before. They tried to like have their cake and eat it too. Is what you're saying?
They tried to take two radically different versions of the character and mush them together into one, and it just doesn't work. If you want to have the dark, sympathetic version of the character, you can't have him be a total utter goofball, or else you deflate all of the drama and tension with him. Yeah. And if you want to have him be serious, you'll constantly undercut him by having him be goofy.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
I haven't even seen the animated series,
What?
But no, but hear me out. Like I do remember. I think I watched one or two episodes when I was a kid, just in passing, right? Like it was on the telly, so I just popped it on and just watched it. I do, however, remember that fucking amazing intro into the fucking into each episode. The intro to Batman the animated series was legendary.
Yeah. Hey, little fun fact: did you know that every single title card in the entire series had a unique title card and music accompanying it? Every single one.
I had no idea. That's pretty cool. Batman is using a gun in the early days is a common misconception. Salazar Knight does great Batman videos discussing that and more.
So it's not really a misconception. He doesn't overuse it. He uses it like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, and then
in a 1 year period. The one time he really uses a gun, like there's one shot of him or one panel of him in a plane shooting at a truck with gangsters in it, and then there's another one where he actually shoots a vampire with a silver bullet, which I don't really count that one just because Batman's picked up a gun and shot aliens before, like monsters and shit. Right. But yeah, I'd have to watch the video, but he's definitely used a gun. He carried guns.
Yeah.
It was only for 1 year.
Let me have...
Yeah, like that's something that was there. It's not a misconception. It did exist, but Batman as a character evolved past that. That's why the trope Batman picks up a gun exists. Like if Batman is using a gun, like this is a drastically serious situation.
Like didn't he use a gun, or he had a gun and he was going to shoot Darkseid with it?
Yeah, he was going to shoot Darkseid.
Yeah.
That was, and I think that was what named the trope. Batman picks up a gun. Like the fact that he picked up a gun was serious. Like
shit's
that was
going down.
Yeah. The fact that he's out of character, like it was serious.
Yep. I actually liked the New 52 Batman and Green Arrow.
Green Arrow was really good
too. I'm not really a Batman comic guy, but like comics I did read were cool, I thought. I didn't really have much to compare it to though. I'm on your side, Noms. I do prefer Roche over Rosh. I think he means Raz over
He was just
Rage.
trying to spell it differently.
Okay.
There are no numbers. There is only the truth.
Hellblazer is based official. Based Blazer. There you go.
The League of Assassins will come for you.
You disappointed Nerdy, by the way, because you've never seen the animated series.
Yeah, I don't care. Cool, man. Just tell me the answer. Well, I'm pretty sure he did tell us the answer.
Okay, yeah. I was talking to Charlie in the chat. Like, I have not watched all of the animated movies. It's been nearly like a decade since I've consistently watched any of them. Like stuff like Justice League Doom, like that was like 2012. So
really,
yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. It's like, so I haven't kept up. I know they make them, but I don't watch those because I'm not really invested in them. So I don't know about those versions, but I really wouldn't be into it, especially because technically, like Damien's supposed to be like 10 when Raven's an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was a Teen Titans, and then she grew up and was like graduated from being a teenager, and so she was like an adult, and that's when Damien came in. So I don't know what the other versions are like, but I conceptually I can't really get into it.
All right, fair enough. Best Mr. Freeze is DCAU. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who will agree with that.
Yeah. Like there's a reason why that became the standard freeze in the comics. It was
Nora.
Yeah.
Jason Wisebean. Breaking news: Hayden Christensen reprising his role for the upcoming. Yeah, I heard. I don't know. I'm actually more encouraged by that than I am with him reprising his role as Darth Vader. Like, I care more about him coming back for Obi-Wan Kenobi than I do for Ahsoka.
Yeah, like, and again, like I was saying, it could be like a flashback, which is fine. Like, I'm absolutely fine if they do flashbacks of him. It's just you can't have him show up to any of these characters before stuff, because especially in the Disney continuity, Rebels shows the first time they meet since the Clone Wars, which was in season 2 of Rebels. So you cannot have them meet at any other point because she can't find out that he's Anakin until Rebels.
I just know I'm not gonna like what they do with Hayden Christensen's Anakin because they're gonna try and take it away from the George Lucas style of how he portrayed the character. Because I mean, granted, Anakin's supposed to have some development at this point. If they're gonna, let's say they're gonna have Ahsoka seeing Force Ghost Anakin. Let's say they go that route. I'm not going to expect the same Anakin in Revenge of the Sith or Attack of the Clones, right? He's got to be a different Anakin, but Anakin was portrayed a certain way for a reason. Like, George put a lot of thought into it.
Well,
I can't predict as to how he would have taken Anakin after that, but because we didn't get to see that, obviously, because Darth Vader's supposed to be dead. But
if they show him as a Force ghost, then they're going to start raising all sorts of questions about the sequels and why the Force ghosts didn't do more. Like, where was Anakin at all during the sequels? Why didn't he talk to Kylo and say, "Hey, I actually don't want to do this whole evil thing anymore"?
Yeah.
Like, where was he to say, Luke, "Hey, my son, don't live as a hobo. My boy, don't be a hobo. Please go save the galaxy."
I reckon it'll be flashbacks, and then I will care because
like
you can't have Anakin being this different character all of a sudden. I mean, it's one of the small problems I had with Clone Wars. Like, you have to be consistent with how Anakin was portrayed in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. If they turn him into something different, then that's going to piss me off. But I feel better about that, continuity-wise, than if they bring him back to fight Obi-Wan as Darth Vader when that completely shatters continuity.
Yeah. Oh, I know this is derailing what we were talking about, but Angel has a good comment about Batman Beyond. Can you highlight that?
Is it down below? Because I just had some other chats too.
No, it should be visible. It's about Batman Beyond.
Yeah, no, but is it a recent? Is it like at the bottom?
Yeah, it's recent. You can check.
Yeah, I'll get to it. I just want to get to a couple of these. Nerdy, he's like Noms. And she's like, "Oh wait, I need to leave now because Noms hasn't seen Batman the Animated Series."
See, that's what happens when you don't watch Batman the Animated Series.
I mean, I like it. I like its style from what I've seen. I saw Razorfist playing a game. I think it was Batman.
The dark
classic
Marvel.
Batman.
Yeah.
And it looked exactly like the animated series, but in game form. And I was like,
I'd never heard of that game before, but after I watched him play it, I was like, oh, I want to try to find this game and play it. I'd never heard of it before.
So do I. Pride Dog, I think he's reacting to me saying I haven't watched the animated series before. I will get to it. I watched Mask of the Phantasm. That counts to some extent, and I enjoyed it. So, yeah. That's disappointing me.
Exactly, Steph. Exactly.
Dark Knight Rises is overrated, but Jack Nicholson's the best Joker. I will die on those hills. Also, the amazing design for the Schumacher film started with Tim Burton's Batman. You should check it out, Nums. I got to have a look at Tim Burton's Batman. I think I put it off.
Have you never watched it?
No, never.
Oh, it's worth it. And I don't like campy Batman. I'm not a fan. I think Cool Man and I are very different in that regard. Not that you not just like campy. I know you don't like the super dark. It's like you're over that. But I really like the first Tim Burton Batman, and I love Michelle Pfeiffer in the second one.
I hate 89 Batman. I hate that movie. The only two good things that came out from that was Nicholson's performance as the Joker and the fact that it inspired Batman the Animated Series. Other than that, I have nothing but loathing for that garbage movie.
I like it in like it's not my favorite Batman movie at all. It's not. It's nowhere near my favorite representation of Batman. Right. But there's just something about it where I enjoyed watching it, and maybe that's just because I love Batman as a character. But I was sitting there and I wasn't dying. Like if I try to watch like the Batman TV show, I can't do it.
Batman kills people, and they gave Joker. Yeah, and they gave Joker one of the worst backstories of all time that has unfortunately stuck and gave us the name Jack Napier.
Jack Napier.
I hate
name.
Yeah, and they also I hate this. They replaced Joe Chill with the Joker or Jack Napier, where he was the one who killed Bruce's parents. Like, no, you misunderstand. The fact that Joe Chill is just a common crook, that's the point. Bruce's parents weren't killed because this was an elaborate emotional payoff to an arc. It was just a guy. It was just a dude. Like,
but Batman wanted to blow up some fucking factories with bad guys in it. Yeah, it's not my favorite. I don't hate it. I like Jack Nicholson a lot in that.
and it kills me because outside of that backstory, Jack Nicholson does like the definitive live action like Joker. Like he is so perfect as the role. Like it's no wonder that it inspired the animated series Joker so thoroughly. Like it's a good Joker, and the way he acts is so perfect in a lot of ways. It's not perfect, of course, but like the way he acts is like it's the perfect like adaptation of the Joker to live action. It kills me that it's in that movie.
I would take anything that Burton put out over what Schumacher did and what those other movies did.
Oh yeah, well, I'll agree with you on that front. like as far as I'm concerned, the movies from the 89 to the 90s, they just were bad but got worse as they went on.
Yeah.
Ray Al Ghul.
What's your name?
Ray Al Ghul.
Ray Al Ghul.
Yeah.
Bradley says Raish for life. Traitor!
More like REY, Raish for life.
DCAU is amazing. I have been told.
Okay, yes.
Here's the comment, from Angel. Batman Beyond starts with Bruce retiring Batman because he was forced to threaten a criminal with a gun to save his life. It shook him to his core. So he's really not against. He's really against killing people and guns in particular.
Yeah, like that's something. Like I have my own issues with Batman Beyond, but like the Bruce was like trying to operate as Batman as an old man, and he's got the high tech suit, but he's old now, so he can barely move the way he used to.
Yeah.
And so when he was like forced to like use a gun because he couldn't fight off a criminal, and he had to use a gun to intimidate him, and that was the moment where he was like, I can't be Batman anymore. Like if I have to stoop to this low, then I can't be Batman. And then that's where Terry comes in, and then Terry becomes the new Batman.
Okay, well, I haven't really seen. I mean, I've always been interested in because Batman Beyond is like a futuristic sci-fi-esque Batman, correct?
Yeah. I mean that's what.
Okay, I think based on what I've heard about it, it interests me. I might check it out. I gotta do some more.
It's cool. Terry's
Batman.
No Bruce though.
Edward Nygma is the best Batman villain.
I really like the Riddler. I really enjoyed him, especially the animated series take on him.
Riddler's my top 3, for sure.
I mean, I got nothing against the Riddler. I've always, I gotta go with the Joker as my favorite. Just
what a cop out answer, Anomaly.
I know it's a pretty by the numbers answer, but Joker's classic. What can
Fucking
I say?
Heath Ledger fanboy. I'm kidding.
Even though Heath Ledger is apparently more like chaos than
Anarchy.
Anarchy. Than Joker. I still prefer like that portrayal. And I've seen.
I did too.
I've seen other adaptations of the Joker, so I'm very interested in seeing Nicholson's. So there's that.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, like he's hands down, like Jack Nicholson as the Joker is hands down the best thing about Batman '89. Like coming from me, I'm the guy who's really critical of Batman stuff. So if I'm praising it, then it's good.
Who's in your top 3, Anomaly?
What?
Your top 3 villains
for Batman? Joker, Riddler, and
he's like, please tell me the first one that comes to mind. I'll say is in my top 3.
I want to say Bane, but I don't know enough about Bane from like the comics and animated series.
Okay,
I know about Mr. Freeze, and so I'll probably say Mr. Freeze is number 3.
Okay, so I'll give you a little bit about Bane. Basically, do you know the part where Bane was like being really manipulative and stuff in The Dark Knight Rises? Like, forget the stuff from the end of the movie. Stuff from the beginning, that's closer to what Bane's supposed to be like, just to give you an idea. Okay. But you should try out Arkham Origins if you want a good Bane
I got to play all the Batman games. I really do. I can't believe I haven't to this day.
Oh yeah,
I will.
Yeah, you should play the trilogy. It's
Mm-hmm.
Batman, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Origins.
Okay. Batman
What's your
the
top
Animated
3,
series
cool man?
First, then Superman the Animated Series, then Batman Beyond. I have very little interest in Superman, so I reckon I'll watch Batman Beyond.
I don't like Superman, but that Superman animated series is really good.
Okay, like really, like I would recommend, because Superman is not my favorite.
Wants me to watch it.
Obviously, Batman is my favorite, but like Batman animated series is good. It especially has context for like Justice League, because Justice League continues from Batman the Animated Series and Superman the Animated Series.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Who wants to watch the trailer?
Yeah, we're an hour and a half into the Batman stream. Let's start it.
People say like I thought it was Batman stream. I forget. I think it was Bradley who said that. I was like,
we are talking about Batman.
We've been talking about Batman this whole time.
Yeah, and I think this discussion of all the other Batman stuff is sort of a good way to set the stage.
Yeah.
For
Oh yeah. And we get to talk about like the past and present of like Batman films and how it's changed. And I mean, you had Tim Burton's gothic Batman. And you had Joe Schumacher's campy Batman. Obviously, you had Adam West's like comical Batman, but not like that was about as campy as it gets, right? Adam West's Batman.
Yes.
Yeah. Then you had Christopher Nolan's grounded Batman.
Yeah.
Then you had Zack Snyder's Batman, and now we have Pattinson. So yeah.
Spent a little bit too much time in that lighthouse.
On the Arkham Knight. I've heard Arkham Knight is the most controversial one. I've heard Arkham Asylum is brilliant. Arkham City is brilliant. Arkham Origins is brilliant. And then I've heard Arkham Knight is the
it's divisive.
Yeah, and especially if you are going to play it, you have to watch Batman Under the Red Hood first. Because
but then if he does that, I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything. For me, it's like for Batman.
Oh yeah, I mean there's Red Hood involved, and they screw him up, and like I'm not gonna spoil the story for him, but like I'm just saying that like you need, in order to understand where we're coming from, it's like you kind of have to have some context of Red Hood, and that's a really good sort of distillation of Red Hood. It's kind of like when you watch Batman or Spider-Man the Animated Series, and all of a sudden you understood what I was saying about Spider-Man 3. It's like you don't have the context of who Red Hood is when Red Hood shows up in Arkham Knight. You wouldn't understand like why we have issues with that. Like it's just thing, but that's why I would say play the others, because those are the first three that were released, and I love all of those.
I mean, I was hearing nothing but glowing praise for the Arkham games, and then Arkham Knight comes out, and it's kind of like I got very similar. What was it like? Fallout 4, what's the other one? BioShock Infinite vibes from like.
I really like the
whereas
gameplay.
People enjoyed it, but like there was like something about it that like just really disappointed people.
It's weird, and I think the fact that like they had like I think Paul Dini was like involved in the writing for the first two games, and then for like Arkham Knight, I think they had different writers, which you can feel like there was stuff being set up in Arkham City that was going to be like, this is going to be the like what everything is going to lead to, and all that stuff ended up just being like window dressing. It was like side quest stuff. I'm like, wait, you mean like most of the stuff that was hyped up, and this isn't a spoiler, but like when Azrael showed
why is there an echo every time?
You guys echoing too?
That's you. That's you.
Yeah.
It's me echoing. Oh.
And it's the same thing that happened the last time you were doing the stream. Whatever you're opening that on echoes the chat or echoes us.
That's weird.
That never used to. I haven't done anything differently.
Oh yeah. Say what Ghost says about the PC port of Arkham Knight. I had the PC port of Arkham Knight.
Same.
And I literally could not play past like the opening 15 minutes. It took me like it was chugging at about like 5 frames per second, like no joke, on my computer. And
the rain was really fucking everyone's computers up.
Yes, and of course they barely had any options to turn that stuff off. So you couldn't improve performance on like you could on other games because the port was apparently made in like 8 weeks, and then they like rushed it out the door
by a company that does really bad ports.
Yeah, it was a shame. It was absolutely shameful.
Okay, hang on. I got an idea. I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna share the screen. I'm gonna mute myself, and then you tell me if there's still an echo.
All right.
Otherwise, I'm gonna have to cancel this because I thought this was. So it wasn't Palpamine. It was just me, I guess. Okay.
Okay. Let's.
Damn it! It's still going.
Oh.
It's still echoing.
Yeah.
That's so weird. I can't imagine what this is because I have headphones plugged in, so I don't have any sound.
What if you just screen shared YouTube?
All right, screw it. So you know what we'll do? We won't play the audio. We'll just run through it. How's that? I doubt because I think it happens when I share screen and enable audio. But if I just share the screen, there shouldn't be any echo. So
that's weird.
I don't know. I'll try and have it fixed before.
But if you share, if you just go to the YouTube browser and share, the audio should still come through.
Like I said, I'm gonna fix it for next time. But yeah. So share screen. Okay. Now, is there any echo?
No, there's no echo.
Okay, because I haven't enabled audio. Okay, cool. All right, well, we can do this at least. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched this a couple of times, and there's nothing really important in the dialogue.
In the audio.
Yeah. There isn't much. Yeah, there isn't much.
Except for the weird ADR of these cops talking but not talking.
Mm-hmm.
It's a diner. Mm-hmm. Like I honestly got flashbacks to like the opening of Arkham Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's Jim Gordon.
Did you like this? Yeah, Jim Gordon. Oh my god! When I saw who I had no idea it was Jim Gordon until Palps told me.
I didn't realize that they race bent Jim Gordon in this. I'm like, freaking hell!
I like that actor.
To be fair, he's a good actor.
Yeah, he was Felix Leiter in the Craig Bond movies. I like that actor. I just don't like characters being changed too drastically from the source material.
Agreed.
I prefer the accuracy, and like Jim Gordon is such an iconic character. It's just dumb to completely change his look, especially because it's another redhead character that they race bent.
I like the argument that you always hear of they're not real characters, so it doesn't matter. And it's like, okay, if it didn't matter, then just keep them the same.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I do like this as a, I think
I don't mind that.
I thought this was a nice touch to it, like the Riddler.
Yeah, that's
fine. Creative. So obviously that's Edward Nygma.
I hope they don't butcher him.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like the way he looks, but I don't mind it.
I mean, it depends on what he looks like in his full villain getup.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he's anything other than a green suit and a bowler hat, like
he is. Did you see the toys?
Oh no, I haven't looked at any of the toys.
Oh, yeah, we know what he looks like. I think you'll hate it. I don't think you're gonna be happy.
Oh no, let me.
I like that.
The bat symbol looks good.
I do like the way Gotham looks in this.
What the hell is that?
Oh, he saw it. Cool man looked it up.
Oh,
what?
This is disgusting.
What? What do you?
The Riddler's design.
Oh, okay. He was saying they had toys. Anomaly. I'm going to send this to you on Discord. This picture.
You can share it with us if you like.
So I think he looks like a mix between something like the Zodiac Killer and the killer from the town that dreaded sundown. That's what he looks like.
Man. You want to hang on? I'll stop sharing for a moment. Cool man. If you want to share it with us, feel free.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just a second.
It's the McFarlane line of DC Universe toys, and they released Batman, Catwoman, and the Riddler.
I usually don't like race swapping characters, but I'm willing to look past it if the actor does a good job. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, but here's the thing for me is I'm generally like I used to be a lot more fine with it, but in recent times it's like it's gotten to the point where like I feel far more averse to like race swapping just because they've been doing it so often. Like it's gotten something that just pisses me off now.
It's like a political statement every time.
Oh wow, what the hell is that? It's like he looks like
Bruce Willis in Unbreakable.
No. He looks like a like some dude who's like he looks like a bandit in a post-apocalyptic world. He's like wearing like his goggles and a mask to not.
Yeah, it's a weird thing with the mouth.
Toxins.
It's like a gimp suit.
Yeah, and it looks like a worse green version of the Arkhamverse Anarchy.
Yeah,
because that guy had like a big coat and he had a hood on though. But like, it's just I
think they're going for another realistic version. And if somebody was really trying to conceal their identity, he would look like somebody covered head to toe. Minus the strap.
But he's a narcissist. He wants people to know he's smart. Like that's the whole thing. He wouldn't want to conceal himself. He wants everyone to know that Edward Nygma is smarter than everyone else, including Batman.
It's very true. I wonder how they're gonna do his character in this. I wonder if he's gonna be like a weird recluse. Because he's sitting at that diner alone, like he doesn't look very proud. He's just sitting there. Normally if it was the Riddler, he'd welcome them in and be all extravagant about it, and expect to be
what if he's waiting for him? Like it looks like he was waiting for them to show up,
but he looks so depressed. He's just so down.
Please don't make him just an angry incel. Please don't.
I mean, he speaks in the trailer, and he definitely has a very like holier than thou antagonistic side to his voice. So I don't know, man. We're gonna have to see like more of it. But it's if you can play the audio for that part, like we can shut up, but you can hear him say what's black and blue and dead all over. Like he's taunting him. He's definitely not some incel energy person. He seems like an asshole.
Okay. Well, look, we'll keep going with the trailer. Look, one thing I did like in this trailer is how Gotham City looked. It looks way more unique than in Dark Knight Rises, and hell, even I think I'd have to look at it again, but I think DC EU made Gotham look a bit more comic-esque. Not enough, but just it wasn't really Gotham focused though. It was more like Superman was going to the Middle East, and so
you gargoyles.
It's gargoyles, guys. Gargoyles.
Gargoyles.
Then you got the logo for that shitty company. If that's meant to be Jim Gordon, is it? Because it looks.
I can't tell. It doesn't look like the same guy. Oh no, it is.
Someone broke the bat symbol.
No,
or is it just a different?
I think that's just how it looks.
Oh, I don't.
Where's his head?
He doesn't really have one on his chest. Like if you look at his chest logo, it doesn't really have a head.
Why does it look more like Batwoman's logo than Batman?
Because she's not about to let a man take credit for a woman's work.
I will say, I actually thought he actually looks better in the suit than I thought he would.
Yeah, he does.
Pattinson.
Well, I mean, and here's the thing: as long as you have like any kind of jaw and you have a halfway decent build, you can look good in the suit. It's how you look out of the suit that is where you start having like issues. Like
there's a frame that really I'm like when he pulls down the newspaper and he's got like this. He looks like Dwight Schrute, where like his hair is hanging down on each side of his face.
He almost looks like Bully Maguire.
Yeah, it's not a good look for Bruce.
To be fair though, this if you want to do a comparison, Cool Man's icon and Patterson's Batman cowl. I mean, BTAS Batman has like one of the most iconic jaw lines ever. Like he has the jaw. Pattinson has
a
similar jaw. A jaw.
He does not have a jaw to match animated series Batman.
I'm just waiting for
it matches. I'm just saying it's it's up there.
I'm just waiting for the day that we have a designer that has the balls to put white eyes on Batman.
Yes! Thank
like,
you.
what the fuck?
I get so angry that they don't give him any kind of lens. I'm like, please, for the love of God, just make it high-tech lens. Like, that's what they do in
Spider-Man. He's got it.
Yeah, and it's like you can eat. Like, look, you just have it be flexible. If you want to CGI it on, then do that. But like, you can have it where it's like just lenses over his eyes. You can sell it as its protection, or like what they do in the Arkham games, where that's how he sees the detective vision, where he uses it to analyze stuff. It's like,
that's what they should do. There's no time where Batman looks better than when he's cloaked in shadows and you just see those fucking eyes peering out.
Yeah,
it's
like
always the coolest thing.
Well, and imagine if like it had a light glow to it in the dark, and you just see all of a sudden it's just nothing except those two very dull white dots, and it's like, oh,
terrifying.
And especially if they have it where it changes with the expression, so you can get the squint from Batman animated series, where it's just his eyes go narrow.
I'd love that. It'd be nice. This looks like, it reminds me of Gotham by Gaslight, where it's a stitched together costume. The same thing with the cowl. It's when he was fighting Jack the Ripper. It's a very slapped together bat suit. Not this one, but the cowl reminds me a lot of that.
Okay.
The Joker boys.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. It's like, if this is meant to be, if the Riddler's meant to be the main villain, like, what are these?
Well, we know that there's other
skinhead
gangs.
Cultists.
So when this movie was first coming out, they were showing screenshots, and we see graffiti, and we know that, I believe the Joker's established in this universe. Riddler was established because he had the little question mark thing. Like, we know there's other gangs in here, and there's already other villains out there.
Right. Okay.
So that's what that's from. And what really threw me off too the first time I watched this was when he electrocutes somebody. I didn't fucking catch that the first time, but then I was like, wait a minute, he's got a shocker on his wrist.
Yeah. I mean, wasn't Ben Affleck signed on for this movie for like the first year and a half of its production?
Well, I don't know if it was this movie, but there was going to be a Batman movie with him, but you could tell he wanted to get out of those movies as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, that obviously fell through. And
he did his best. He did do his best.
Yeah.
And honestly, I actually do like the music in this trailer.
It's great.
I'm being completely honest.
I also don't mind him getting shot here. They did this correctly.
Yeah, because he was like,
and
look, that's a relatively small gun.
And look how far back it blasts him. Like,
yeah, agreed.
That should be, he takes the shot correctly in terms of like the recoil of his body, and it doesn't kill him, and it's in the shoulder, which it's got more armor there, and it's a low caliber.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's so crazy because a shot from a pistol knocks him back as it should, but then two automatic, rifles, he's just walking forward like it doesn't even matter.
They did that. It's a trailer shot. That's why they're like, we need something.
Yeah. But I do like this. Yeah, I mean, and this is actually, again, relatively similar to Nolan's Batman in that he can take at least his first costume could take gunfire. Maybe not like point blank like that, which I think this one's trying to make him a bit more armored up and harder to damage with gunfire. But like, because like I remember Fox said he can take anything but a straight shot, which I imagine was like, if he's running away from gunfire, the armor should hold up. But if it's like point blank and dead on, chances are it'll pierce the armor.
Yeah, and that's kind of what bothered me too.
I'm still fine with this. I think this is okay.
The Batfleck version, people bring that up too, and it's like, I didn't like it back then either. He takes 2 pistol rounds off the head, and it's like, that would fuck you up unless that cowl is made out of some hyper material that we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me. That suit specifically, because it was so skin tight. At least this has the appearance of armor. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
And then this electroshock. I wish he would have just like headbutted him or like knocked his teeth out or something, because he seems unhinged in this one a little bit. Like, you look at the first trailer The first trailer when he just completely beats the shit out of the guy and he keeps going. It's like, okay, you can stop now. Okay, you can stop.
Personally, I actually really liked that. I was get him, Batman.
I did too.
I hate that because like the way they portray Batman, a lot of people this really doesn't help the portrayal, like what people think. They think that when he beats up criminals, like he just wants to beat people up, but like he should be efficient. Like he shouldn't just be going crazy and wailing like he's some sort of punk off the street. Like he has had training, and depending on the continuity, he's trained with like ninjas and stuff. Like I know in the Batman animated series, they established he went to freaking Japan and trained in like judo, like karate and jujitsu and all that stuff. Like so, he should be way more efficient than wailing on a guy.
Yeah, I just think that in this context, with him being young, it shows that he doesn't have the restraint that he would have later on, which leaves room for some growth for me, at least in his combat. Like this looked like that's what I mean. It's like you can stop. Like he doesn't have the wherewithal to be like, all right, I'm done. You went down. You took him out with the punch. You're good. Instead, he's like, no, I'm gonna beat the shit out of this guy. Like it's. I think it was meant to make you feel like that was overkill.
Well, I personally like. I can understand if he's like during his training, if he has no like restraint. Like I can see that. Like if he's flashing back to his teenage years where he's doing his training, and he's still angry. And he's still like that anger is still driving him. But I think if he's Batman already, he should have some more self-control over this.
Well, didn't he in year one? Wasn't he training and he kicked through that tree or something because he like got pissed off? Or am I misremembering that?
I don't remember. I don't remember all the details of year one, to be honest.
It's been a long time since I read it and watched that movie. But he kicked through a tree, and I don't know. Maybe somebody in chat can correct me, but I thought it was because he didn't know what his control wasn't really there yet.
Well, this is early on in his Batman days, so
Second year.
Imagine it's just he's still very I don't know. I think he's still reeling from his parents' death to some. He's taking down the criminals. Without obviously he still has his moral code not to kill. I hope, but I don't think the jury's still out on that one. Anyway, let's keep going.
Okay, that part,
it's bad.
Yeah,
it makes him look weak.
Yeah,
I cringed at it.
Well, and my first thought was, I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was a Dark Knight parody video where it's Batman and the Joker, and Batman is just like, like desperately trying to understand him, and he's like, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? And he's like, I'm sorry, am I crazy here? Okay, like I know I'm crazy, but I can't be the only one who can't understand him. And then he just like punches him over and over. It's like that's what this reminded me of. It's like a gag video from 2008 of some guy in a really cheap cowl. Like it looks cheap. Like it looks like a CW show moment.
I think the lights are too bright. Like I think a big problem with Batman, and you people can criticize me about this, but I say it all the time. Do not fucking put Batman in the middle of the day or in a brightly lit room. It just is not good for who Batman is as a character. Like it looks goofy. It gets really bizarre when he's in a brightly lit room. Put him in some shadows. Have this color tone down a little bit. Bring the lights down, and maybe fix the audio mixing so he can understand what he's saying, and have that glass that he punches wobble a little bit. Make it react to show some strength.
You need a thud, like a real meaty.
Look, that is prison glass, for goodness sake. Like
that's fine. At least do a sound effect, like Kuman said, a thud, something where it shows that this guy fucking can put a dent in this. Like he can, he's got power. Because as that looked, it was just kind of like he slapped it.
Yeah, that's true. I would have preferred if there was like a little crack there, just a tiny crack.
But yeah, like Tate says, he did kick a tree. Yeah, he kicks a tree in half. He can break some shit.
When did this happen?
In year one.
we're talking at the year
comic
one.
in a movie, but he kicks a tree in half.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's a bit much.
And like what Mando was saying, like like when Batman is in the light, you need to, especially if it's live action. It's one thing if it's animated or like a video game, but like if it's live action, that will show off every single fault in the costuming. So you have to make sure that it looks spot on in every regard if you have a Batman suit in the light, because if it doesn't, it's going to look cheap and you're going to diminish his look.
Yeah.
That looks very pretty.
Oh yeah, that was our shot of angsty emo Bruce.
I think it's worse when he has the newspaper.
Yeah, like
I think his hair's a bit long. I don't know.
Well, and here's the thing: in Batman Begins, when Bruce comes back, like especially when he's going to try to kill Joe Chill.
Joe Kill.
Yeah, but you like his hair looked unkempt, but it made a little bit more sense. Like,
right.
But like this looks like it's trying to be the sexy emo boy look.
I heard. I think it was Anna, that Star Wars girl, on the Jack show. She basically said, or was it on World Class Bullshitters? I can't remember, but she basically said that she was asked about Pattinson's Batman, and she was asked, and I think she had a very good point, because I'm unfamiliar with this crowd, understand, but she says she hates the idea of Robert Pattinson's Batman, but it's very smart because he's got the whole Twilight crowd like lusting over him, and she reckons like those motherfuckers will buy anything that you attach Pattinson's name to, because like they fawn over the guy. Like they're,
I mean, he's a good-looking guy.
On them. He's all right.
And
like,
and
I got
women
nothing against him personally, but apparently the Twilight movies really warped those people, and now they just follow him everywhere he goes.
Well, I like him
Batman,
too. Have you seen him in Good Times? He's really good in that movie. He's really great in The Lighthouse.
I liked him as Cedric Diggory in Goblet of Fire. I thought it was fine.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
you haven't seen the Goblet of, you haven't seen Harry Potter?
No, I've only seen the first movie.
Yeah, you're not really missing.
Wow, what a revelation!
Yeah, I've only ever seen the first Harry Potter movie.
No, Anomaly, you haven't watched Batman the Animated Series. You don't have any right to criticize.
Batman the Animated Series is a popular animated show. Fucking Harry Potter was a generation-defining phenomenon. All right, it's a bit different.
I think Batman the Animated Series kind of reinvented Batman.
Yeah, it was a phenomenon. It's like, Anomaly. You don't.
It was popular.
No,
it was extraordinarily.
Harry Potter. Cool.
I think I get what you're saying about Harry Potter being like a very culturally significant thing, like Star Wars.
Globally,
Batman, for talking about Batman, the animated series is like a watershed moment for Batman.
Yeah, look, I'll watch animated series. Okay, it's on the list. It's high on the list too.
I'd watch Harry Potter. I don't know shit about it. I know nothing other than there was tiny little British children running around from a fucking snake or something. That's all I know.
I don't know. You should watch them. Like, just binge all 8 films. You'd be like, that was fun. That was good. Anyway.
I don't mind watching it. I'm open to it. If we do fucking movie nights in the Discord or something, I'm down.
I'd be down. We still got to watch the Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah. And Batman the Animated Series.
Yes.
You fucker.
I'll watch that on my own. Isn't there like 62 episodes of that series?
Yeah, there's a bunch of episodes. I actually have the first 3 seasons. I think it's the first 3 seasons on DVD. Like, I haven't. I love it.
Cool, man. The Collector. Is the Collector a Batman villain too, or am I just imagining that?
No.
Okay.
Not as far as I know. But the Collector is a character in Mortal Kombat 11 who shows up. I just
realized that the Collector is actually a Simpsons parody villain. Remember? You haven't seen The Simpsons.
Oh, no. I don't watch Simpsons. I never have.
He's also a horror movie villain. If you haven't seen The Collector.
Wasn't he in he's an MCU character called The Collector too?
Yes.
Yeah, I should say a Marvel character. He's not just the MCU.
Right. I mean, he didn't make much sense either. The Collector, like I was actually because he wanted the Infinity Stones, and then like in Guardians of the Galaxy, they just like he dies.
I do love
quickly.
Benicio del Toro though.
He's good. I like him.
Oh no, he doesn't die in that. He shows up at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy with Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess so. Okay, well then they underutilized him. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, he was definitely underutilized. He's like because in the comics he's supposed to be like one of the ancient immortals of the universe, and it's like yeah, wasted potential.
Yeah. Anyway, we got emo Batman here, emo Pattinson.
He's a sultry boy, and women fawn over him. Okay.
Now we have Selena Kyle. At least I assume her name is Selena Kyle. No, she's been cast on IMDb as Selena Kyle. So yeah.
See, I'm okay with this though. This shot, it's very reminiscent of many Batman Catwoman scenes, and I think this sunset-ish time is okay.
I do love this shot here.
Yeah,
I think that's
really
cool.
nice.
Yeah,
such an odd casting choice though. Like of all the
you don't like her?
I just think she's odd. She doesn't look like Catwoman to me.
I think she's the female version of Tall, Dark, and Handsome. That's the Selena Kyle they're going with.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen this actress in other things that I've liked her in. Like she was in the Divergent movies, which I enjoyed, and she was Christina, I think her name was. I forget, but
yeah. Well, and I'm not big on race bending, but I'll at least say with Selena Kyle, they have like already had like Black Catwoman before, so it's not the worst thing because that's been established, especially like the '60s with Eartha Kitt.
Right.
But still, I prefer the accurate characters. I mean, hell, there's actually
It's not just that. It's not just that though. Understand? I think she's a bit too short as well, and she was short in the Divergent movies. She's very short. This actress.
Well,
like,
I mean, her being short doesn't really doesn't really bother me. But like,
no, it bugs me. It's not the end of the world. I'm just saying. I was just like, because isn't a Catwoman meant to have like really long legs and stuff too? Like,
she's kind of like normal height, like 5'5", 5'6".
Yeah, I mean, like it's fine. Like I'm not going to get like really anal about the details of like the height unless that height is like important. Like if you have Bane show up and he's like normal height, then
he's 5'5".
Yeah, or 5'9" wearing high heels.
It's not the end of the world. I'm sure I'll get behind the character if she's well done. Yeah. It's just I thought it was a very odd choice. That's all I'm saying. I do really like this shot. And where the hell are all the giant skyscrapers? Like it's Gotham.
They're on the
City.
biggest one.
Yeah, they're on the skyest of scrapers.
They're on Batman Tower.
No, because that maybe because they're almost as tall.
I'm just kidding. That looks like the radio station.
Yeah,
but those antenna towers are meant to be pretty damn tall because they're meant to get good reception. Anyway,
yeah, I mean, and
that was a nice kick.
Look, it's the Penguin.
Is that?
Oh, is that the Penguin?
Yeah, it's Penguin.
Yeah, let's go back. It's Colin Farrell apparently.
Yeah.
I have no idea how that is. Kudos to him for somehow turning into that. But,
and the makeup team.
Yeah, makeup team did a good job. I mean, but I'm not really too familiar with Penguin. I saw Danny DeVito's.
It's very hard to. Not that you couldn't cast somebody short to play the Penguin, but I think it's hard to do a villain like that. Okay. In a realistic way. Like Danny DeVito's probably the closest you're ever gonna get to a real life actor playing the Penguin.
Well, like okay, because here's the thing: they're the more cartoonish like Penguin that actually looks like a penguin. That you can't do that in live action. But I still think that he should be shorter, like a little shorter.
Who would you cast? That's what I always try to think of is like who could I actually cast that's small.
Well, no, I'm not talking about small. I'm just like shorter, even if he's like 5'6" or something. Like he doesn't have to be like 5 feet tall. Like I'm not saying that. Like, true. But like he would have to be shorter than the other people. Like especially
shorter than Batman.
Yes, like yeah. Because
how tall is Robert Pattinson?
Let me look this up.
So Colin Farrell's 5'10".
Yeah, he's 5'10". Robert Pattinson is 6'1", so he's got a couple of inches on him, but like, still, that's just a couple of inches. I mean, I feel like casting someone who's 5'10" is just for the Penguin. Nah,
too tall. I think it's more viable as a violent, brutal mob boss for him to be a little bit bigger.
I thought he was like when I saw this trailer for the first time, I thought he was going to be like one of the mob bosses, like not the Penguin.
We'll see. I like him.
All right.
I think Colin Farrell. That shot, this shot, I fucking hate this.
Oh
this looks weird,
and especially those sunglasses.
That's like, the hair thing, and
face.
He looks.
His hair's too long. Sunglasses look a bit weird. I mean, I can get behind the sunglasses. They're a bit big. My question is for Cool Man is, what do you think of Andy Serkis's Alfred? I imagine he's Alfred.
Yeah, that's Alfred.
I don't like it.
He's too young, you reckon? Or
he should be bald.
Oh, bald? You reckon, really? Because I mean, Jeremy
Balding.
Irons was
Alfred
Alfred.
had hair on the sides.
I think
at least
you told me you thought Jeremy Irons was a decent Alfred.
He was fine.
Yeah, I like Jeremy Irons,
but he should have been bald. Like Alfred is bald. They don't do it.
Okay.
They don't do it in the live action movies. They're cowards. But
Cowards.
No bald men.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bruce Willis.
Yeah, this is No Country for Bald Men.
I just thought of the most brilliant Seinfeld meme for what Cool Man said. If I was ever going to make a Batman video about, and I'd mention Alfred and the inaccuracies, like there's a scene where George Costanza. Have you guys watched Seinfeld? Yes or no?
Hell yeah.
I have watched it. Yes.
I've been watching it recently too because it was. I just felt like it. I own all the disc sets. Anyway, and then there's I forget which season it is. I think it's season 7 or 8, where George Costanza's bald, and Elaine's dating a guy who shaves his head for fun, for the look, and that makes George really mad. He's like, shaving someone's hair when they have, he's bald, he can't grow any hair, but shaving your hair off for a look, he's like, that's like using a wheelchair for the fun of it, is what he says.
Cultural appropriation.
No, but like that's not the joke though. Like, I mean, that's a joke, but it's not what I was getting at. And then Elaine's like, yeah, he shaves his head. I think that's pretty gutsy. And then George is like, sweetheart, let me tell you something about guts. This is guts. And he points at his head, and then Elaine's like, what? Clinging to some scraps? And he's like, these are historical remains of a once beautiful society of hair. And then like so it's like when Cool Man's like, yeah, they don't have the guts to make Alfred bald, and it's like, yeah, I'd put in a clip of George Costanza being like, this is guts, and he points at his own head. I don't know.
I thought you were gonna put George Costanza as Alfred, and he was just gonna be ranting and raving. They're at it again, Jerry. The Joker's at it again.
I can imagine a Seinfeld parody of that. It's like they ever did a Batman episode.
Play the line to a scene of Alfred from Batman the Animated Series. This is courage. Or this is, it's like, but yeah, it's like there is a look to these characters, and it bothers me that they don't do this. It's like the actors don't want to shave their head. That's fine. They could come up with a bald cap or whatever. I know they've done that. It's like it annoys me because these characters have a look, and then it's like, yes, he's nicely dressed. Okay, that's one step of it. It's like, yes, he's British. All right, he's British, he's bald, and he's well dressed. Like those are your main things, and they can never get the bald part. Yes, I know he isn't always bald, or he hasn't always been bald in every single incarnation. But like the iconic look of Alfred is the bald one.
There's No More Lies, Coulson, The Sins of My Father. So I think so. I'm pretty sure that's the Riddler symbol in the middle of the circle there, and this is something he's left for Batman.
Yep. He's doing some detective shit. Thank God.
I hope.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I don't want them
to. About this.
I don't want them to like neuter it down to where like things get solved just super easily.
Those look like what are those photos on the ground?
Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, those are photos.
I'm curious to see where this is going. What the big riddle is. Is Riddler killing people in this movie? Is he a serial killer?
So.
I hope he's not. That's something that annoys me is when they try to make the Riddler like really, really violent. I'm like, no, he's a dweeby guy whose only thing that he has going for him is that he's really smart. That's it.
Like he just wants to prove he's smarter than Batman.
Yeah,
Batman. I like this action scene.
Yeah, I think it
I
looks
like the
good.
way it's. I like the way it's
Yeah.
lit.
Can you
as
pause
well.
it on his gauntlets? Can you go back a little bit?
Okay.
What the
Oh.
fuck? Those are like darts. They look like Court of Owl Talon darts.
Yeah, I was gonna say those like that looks like a bunch of darts that are just strapped to his arm. Like that looks so
I think that's
weird.
cool.
And he's holding up
I
his
mean-
fist like he's. I don't know if he's gonna shoot him like with a projectile or what.
No, I think he's about. I think he's just about to punch.
He's
him.
too far to punch him though. Like he looks like he's threatening him with like a
Oh,
wrist
maybe-
rocket.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, possibly.
Watch those wrist rockets.
Watch those wrist rockets. Oh, Battlefield, Battlefront. Fuck.
I could even see that with a straight face.
So good.
He's just like, I like the fact that he's like beating the shit out of like all these like cultists and rioters, like because he's trying to, the city's in anarchy. Like I like that about this trailer and the what I assume is the film's premise, because the Riddler's turning Gotham into a war zone, more or less.
You know what I'm worried about with these fight scenes?
Somehow
That fight
What?
scene is what we got in The Dark Knight when Batman went to the nightclub, and we're getting that here. The hallway scene looks like a warehouse, which is the same fight that we got in Zack Snyder's Batman. So are we going to get an original one, or are we going to get something that looks like something we've already seen, but with this Batman? That's kind of, when I saw this trailer, I was like, I didn't feel like I really saw all that much that was new in terms of the scenery for the fights.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if they were trying to do hey, these fights are like those other movies that, right? Like, because people did at least praise Batman for that gruesome murder warehouse scene.
Yeah.
So they're probably like, we saw people like this. Let's do that thing, sort of.
Yeah.
People will like us.
Skids, what was I saying about the mayor?
Well, she's got red hair here. I appreciate that.
It's a wig.
That is a wig, but
Mitchell is the Gotham mayor, Savage is the police commissioner, and Coulson is the DA.
Oh, because of what we were talking about earlier. I thought I said something about that.
Yeah.
the cowl.
That's a cool shot.
Oh, and here we go.
Go.
It's fucking hallway scene.
This movie looks looks really good for the most part.
At times, at other times,
Yeah.
it's like I think I mentioned this before.
Fuck me, dude.
I think I mentioned this before.
Batman smash.
So bad. Shoot him in the face. Aim up, you dipshit. He looks right at him. That frame that you had it paused in, he was looking him dead in the eyes.
Well, and
Ugh.
like he should at least have some like way, like a thing that he can turn on to cover his face, like like a thing that like an armor plating that slides over his mouth so that it covers his jaw. Like, 'cause if you really want to sell the bulletproof, you're gonna need to cover the face.
Armor doesn't work.
Armor doesn't work like that. Yeah, it's that really put this into a level of like, okay, we're jumping the shark with this. Whatever. Like I stopped caring at that point.
The cinematography
gets too
like
goofy.
Daredevil's, you reckon?
Well, you know what's funny? I was just gonna say that about when I was talking about the fight scenes when he beats the shit out of those guys in the rain. It reminded me of the Ben Affleck Daredevil when he was fighting in the rain. I like this though from the first trailer, the I'm Vengeance one. There he is, the Riddler.
We gotta have
That
a
looks
sexy,
really cool. They have a sex scene? What?
Hell.
a sexy shirtless scene.
Oh. Gotta show them scars and those back muscles.
What's he doing? Is he like leading the cultists to freedom? Or
This
something?
looks like Frank Miller was when he was fighting the mutants and he brought him into the mud pit.
Oh my god!
That's what this looks like.
Oh no! Some men just want to watch the world burn. Oh, this shot! Oh, this shot annoys me so much.
The upside down one?
No, the car scene.
Mm.
What with Colin Farrell going mental here?
No, just play it.
Okay.
He's driving through the fire with exposed tires. Like,
Yeah, I see what you're saying. His fucking, by the way, we were talking about like wheel safety. Rewind. If you go back a little bit, look at his hubcaps. They're giant. They're gigantic on the sides.
yeah,
I don't know if that's armor or what. You can see it.
he's got those
coming up
sick
here.
got some sick hubcaps.
A little bit more, you'll be like when it gets a little bit closer, you'll see them.
I mean, it is raining like
Right
crazy
there.
as well.
I saw it.
I like that. I think that looks pretty badass.
And he pulls out a gun and shoots him.
I love the logo. I think I really like the style they went with this stark red. I usually hate red.
Well,
I like the black and red as a stylistic choice.
what's weird for
Me
me
too.
is that the black and red in the Bat family is always tied to either Red Hood or Kate Kane, Batwoman. Like that, those have always been their colors.
Or Thomas Wayne Batman.
Oh, well, yeah, but he's in an alternate universe
Yeah.
version.
But we were talking about shooting somebody, so like, yeah, pull out your gun, Thomas.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
horrible.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, Thomas Wayne Batman was like also a psycho killer.
He's a fucking psychopath.
Alrighty, well, that's the trailer in its entirety. I'm interested. It looks good, mostly, and gonna have to wait and see. Like, I'm
That's
still
exactly how I
cautiously
feel.
optimistic for it. I'm still like, if I had to like choose, like this might be, besides Matrix Resurrections, which I'm also choosing to be cautiously optimistic for. Like, it's the Batman's my favorite, my most excited for movie of in the coming weeks and months. What about you?
It definitely has potential. I don't hate it,
Potential.
but I'm
just
tempering
excited
my
to see a movie that
expectations.
isn't the MCU for a change. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or that isn't DCEU as well. Like,
something
same reason
from
I
a
was excited
director that has a vision.
That's something
But
that's, Joker. Look what happened to Joker. I mean, I know Coolman doesn't like Joker, but like, you can't say it wasn't refreshing, in a way. Like,
I think it was. I think it was a big break, a departure from what we've been getting, and I'm so fucking glad Zack Snyder has nothing to do with this.
Yeah,
I think a lot of
Zack
people
Snyder
are.
is light on superhero movies.
New 52 Nightwing had
Black and red.
We don't talk about
he did.
that.
Yeah, he did.
Colors are black and blue.
Blue, always blue.
Does anyone else think that the Batmobile looks pretty average? Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we
it
spoke about
does.
that, pal.
I talked about that earlier in the stream because I was annoyed that it was a car. Like, it looks like something that would be in Fast and the Furious.
No,
I think
I think it looks more like Mad Max's car.
I love it. I think that the back end is where all the magic is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at the shot.
Yeah, we know Mando likes that junk in the trunk.
Look at the shot. Look at the shot of it. Yeah, you can see like the turbine and everything. Like, that's where the money shot is for sure. The front of it's a Challenger, which I love.
Yeah.
I'm biased because that's my favorite muscle car, but yeah, I like the back end. It's cool.
Just got here. Bloody hell, dude! We've been going for a while. We're gonna close up in a few minutes. That's like close up, like we're closing a restaurant.
What?
Mando is a junk shot fan confirmed.
Yeah, dude.
I
It's
thought-
no
I thought you
secret.
meant
I'm
the real
into the.
Mandalorian. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see Batman Beyond film. Ooh, what do you guys think about that? Batman Beyond film.
I'd watch Batman Beyond.
Well, I mean, if it depends on how it was handled. Because if it was handled the way they did it in the show, I wouldn't be a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Conroy, even though he's not buff enough to be old Bruce, I would like that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, that reminds me. Like, they did the Crisis event where they had Kevin Conroy as an older Bruce, and they were like, "Oh, by the way, he's evil. We killed him." Lol.
That's so dumb.
Well, like if Kevin Conroy was an older Bruce, and they gave him a Terry McGinnis, and he was like the new Batman, I would actually be down with that as long as they handled Bruce's character well, and they didn't make him like a really nasty, like, mean loner. I'm like, because that's the thing that really bugs me about Bruce's character in Batman Beyond, where they were like, yeah, he's a loner, and he basically grew old with no one. He's just like, and he's away from
He's
everyone.
a weird recluse.
Okay.
I hate it.
Skids is making a video on this trailer. Good for him.
All right.
Nice.
Fun.
I'm being cautiously optimistic when it comes to this Batman, but I'm more interested in Batman shows that are 80s, early 2000s, between that time period. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. There's also another show called The Batman. It was a cartoon show that it was actually really interesting because it started off being like very like before like his early days, and like in the time of the show, Gordon wasn't even the commissioner at the time. They had another guy as the commissioner. They invented new characters. They created a bunch of new villains. Not all of them were winners, but they very sparingly used mainline villains, and they didn't adapt them all the same way that they normally are. So I actually really like that up until like I was at season 2 or 3 where they were like, yeah, we're just going to like move back to traditional Batman stuff. I mean, it was actually interesting because like they introduced Barbara Gordon as Batgirl. They brought in Dick Grayson as Robin. And I'm like, yeah, it was kind of neat seeing their characters being introduced like that. And they switched it out so that Barbara Gordon came first as Batgirl and then Robin came after. But yeah, I mean, that's something you can also check out if you want to look into some of the Batman shows.
Yeah.
Just avoid the Batman movie where he fucks Barbara Gordon.
Oh, the killing joke movie.
Oh my god, I have never.
Oh,
I'm not
that.
like.
Wait, Catwoman. Sorry, Batwoman is
Batgirl.
Gordon's daughter.
Batgirl.
Yeah, Batgirl is Batgirl is
Barbara
You
Gordon.
said Barbara Gordon, so she's Gordon's daughter.
Correct.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
Bruce was like a father figure to her, and seeing them hook up was. I make a lot of crude jokes and I fuck around a lot. I'm very sarcastic and I handle a lot of that shit. But watching that, I was watching it with my brother and I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I was not down with anything that I was seeing with that.
Well, yeah, and
people,
what's even
people
dumber
aren't
is that,
fond of.
and what's even dumber is that was a part of a 30-minute prologue that has nothing to do with
Exactly. It was padding, pure padding.
Well, yeah, it's
I
like
heard.
you can expand the whole concept of the Killing Joke into a more elaborate movie if you wanted to, because it's not that long of a comic. Like, look, if you wanted to change it and make it longer, that's fine. But like the way they did it was, here's a 30-minute, really awful garbage thing that completely destroys Barbara's character and Bruce's character and makes it seem like Bruce only cares about her because she's a booty call. And then when she gets shot, it's like, oh, yeah, it seems like he only cares about her because he don't get no poon anymore.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's like, I should have done more of this.
Yeah, and it really destroys why he cares, because Bruce is a very like he's an adoption guy. Like, he always takes care of kids. That's always been his thing, because he was a lonely kid without parents at one point. So he's very empathetic with children.
Right.
So that's why he takes in Dick Grayson. He took in Jason Todd. He helped, or he didn't take in because Tim Drake had parents, but he mentored Tim Drake. He adopted Cassandra Cain for however long DC was willing to let that last. He was, also when he was written right, he was a father figure to Stephanie Brown, and he was a father figure to Barbara Gordon. And so for them to warp that relationship so badly, it was just, it's something that has cropped up at certain times. Batman Beyond also kind of hinted at a thing maybe between them, which is also really gross.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
It's absolutely disgusting.
I mean, look, again, I'm not really. I didn't read the Killing Joke. I'm not really into the comics and whatnot.
It's
but
great.
I've been told it's like, the consensus I've gotten from the Killing Joke is that it's an excellent comic, with a terrible adaptation. Like, the parts that were from the comic were good, but everyone despises Batwoman, Batgirl in that movie because she shouldn't be there, essentially.
Yeah, and it's not even her fault. It's just they did some weird. It's fucking weird. I really don't. That's like one of the only things with Batman where I'm kind of like, there's 2 times that I can remember where anything Batman related made me feel uncomfortable. That was one of them. And the other one was when Dick Grayson was Batman and he was spiraling into a deep depression because of everything he was seeing and he couldn't cope with it. And it was really sad. Those are 2 times with Batman where I was kind of like, I don't feel good.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so let's kind of bring this to a close, I think, because we've been going for a while. Hey, it's Odinson. If Luke Skywalker had a cameo is a drop of water in the desert for Star Wars, then the Batman is going to be the fountain of youth for DC. Oh, if Luke Skywalker's cameo was a drop of water in the desert for Star Wars.
I don't think that this single movie is going to reinvigorate after a bunch of dumpster fire DCEU movies from Zack Snyder.
Well, I think it means if it's executed correctly, then it'll like, because look what Joker did. Joker was executed correctly, and people were like, oh my god, are they going to tie into the DCU? Are they going to make a sequel? But it got everyone talking, and I mean, if they hit it right again, then that'll be two wins for DC, and then it'll generate more interest and probably
like how hard is it?
So.
How hard is it to just give us a fucking origin for these characters and then do the Justice League justice?
I think the origins, because I mean we talked about this, like Phase 1 of the MCU where it like introduced all the Avengers was pretty good. It's very good. But it's like after the origins are done, it's the sequels that tend to kind of fuck shit up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but DC can't even do that. They can't even. They don't even get to a point where they can fuck it up.
I mean, honestly, I still kind of enjoy Man of Steel, and I think it's okay. As for, I mean, BVS it just kind of skipped over Batman's origin and just sort of tossed him in there with Superman, and then you didn't get Arthur's origin before Justice League. They just tossed him in there too, and Wonder Woman's origin is. I mean, I initially said I liked Wonder Woman's origin, but the ending really kind of fucks that whole movie up, which is a shame. That's
Lex Luthor creates the logos for these fucking characters for no reason.
Yeah,
he does.
When he shows it, it's on his computer, and he's got the Flash's logo, he's got Wonder Woman's logo, Aquaman's. How the fuck do you know that? How do you know that?
Yeah,
and why do you have those on here?
Around in Photoshop, and he just had some time to kill, so he's
a really big fan. Okay. He's a super fan.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't like it. The only time where I was kind of not absolutely despising Zack Snyder's Justice League or like that universe is when I talked to Ryan Kinnell about it, and the way he describes it, I think he has really good points. I told him I don't agree with everything, but I think the way he explains it like is really good. I think that'd be a very interesting conversation to have.
Yeah. Okay.
Because he fucking loves that universe. I think Stephanie does too.
Minority Home, yeah, I know she's a big Snyder fan. I
hate
Snyder. They're cool, man. They're there. I'm patting you on the back right now.
I loathe his existence as a movie maker.
Mm-hmm. All right, so again, I think my reaction. Okay, we'll just go in a round circle. I'll go first. Cool, man. You go second. Mando, you finish this. So, I thought the trailer was mostly good, minus some bulletproof armor and some odd casting choices. I think it's beautifully lit. I think it's got an interesting premise. If the Riddler's design is for real, that's fucking stupid. that falls into like casting and design choice. Again, cautiously optimistic. Cool, man. You'll go.
I'm not excited. Like I'm pretty well known to be critical of like Batman movies because I mean honestly, Batman Begins is the only one that I can like sit and watch, and I still have issues with that one. I mean, it doesn't look as bad as Snyderverse, which I guess isn't saying much. When you hit rock bottom, you can only go up. But I'm not excited, and I don't have any faith that they'll do this right. And this trailer did not give me any confidence in it. I'll probably watch it just to see, but I'm probably not going to like it.
Okay.
I am very willing. Huh?
Yeah, go. I just want to say, cool, man. Like, I can understand, and I don't think anyone would blame you for not being able to get excited, given the recent history of the DC universe. Like, it's been, Snyder movie, hate, depression. Then you had Dark Knight Rises before that. So I get it. Like, if you're like, no, I'm not excited because, yeah. Anyway, sorry, Mando, go for it.
Oh, you're fine. I was gonna say I'm looking forward to it. I'm very open to other interpretations of these characters just because I think the nature of comics, we have these different universes. So while I do like when things respect source material, I think there's ways to pull those and to make them something that's a little more individual.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like a lot of the things that I saw in terms of the combat and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the armor thing, I think is fucking stupid, and I'm worried that if that happens too much, it's gonna pull me out of the movie for the fight scenes. But if they can give us a good detective story where Batman is hunting down a foe that really is incredibly smart, and they make that the primary focus, I'll like it. But I'm not gonna get my hopes up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally down for them doing alternate versions and doing stuff that's different. Like, I liked the Batman because the Batman changed up, introduced a bunch of new characters. Like, they were didn't follow the traditional Batman stuff. And then the show Beware the Batman, which I always like to talk about Beware the Batman because I wasn't excited when I started watching it. I thought the character designs looked bad. And I wasn't excited until I started watching it, and I got a few episodes in, and it actually really turned me around, and I really, really liked the show. And that introduces Tatsu or Katana as a sort of a side character in the Batman story. And I'm like, yeah, and that also connects Deathstroke into it as well. And it's very different from a lot of the traditional stuff. Especially because you find out that Alfred has a backstory with Deathstroke. It's interesting stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like I'm down for there being something different, but I feel like the problem with a lot of them is that they all these movies still want to cover the same period. They all want to be origin stories. They all want to have like beginning of stuff, or they might go as far as including Robin. Like they might. But they never really go past that. Like there are plenty of other Batman characters in the Bat family that they could incorporate and be different.
Yeah,
you can have Cassandra Cain or Stephanie Brown as the Batgirl. You can have a story where Jason Todd is the Robin, or Tim Drake is the Robin, or hell, we talked about it earlier. Maybe you have a story where Damian is the Robin. You have Helena Bertinelli. You have other characters in the Bat family. But what do we always get? It's Batman. It's Catwoman, maybe Robin. That's always what we get every single time. We've gotten Catwoman like 3 times with this. So it's like, yeah, you can talk about stuff that's different. That's cool, but like I feel like the stuff that they try to do different isn't the stuff they should be doing different.
All right. Guys, just some last minute chats I want to get to. So we'll get to DCAU Lex Luthor is the best Lex Luthor.
Yes.
Cool man. Who voices him again?
Clancy Brown.
Yeah, he's also Mr. Krabs and a few other things. And Savage Press.
He was the guy from Starship Troopers. What? Oh, his Clancy Brown. Clancy Brown!
Yeah. I'm really excited for this movie. I hope it will be really good. Yeah, I hope so too. Riddler and Batman looks like
luxury we have.
Looks like Riddler and the Batman looks like a pickle.
I think he looks like a gimp he's like a cross between an agent with the green suit and then a trash bag and a sex gimp.
Okay. And then we have
that's a good reaction.
Yeah, okay. a real triple threat there.
Yeah, that's the classic archetype.
Not gonna lie, seeing Robert Pattinson as Batman, I didn't see him as Bruce Wayne, but Terry McGinnis instead.
You know what? I actually agree with that. He does look like he should be. If you had him and like an older actor, say Kevin Conroy as Bruce, as the older, like that could work.
Oh, yeah. You know who I'd like to see as an older Bruce? Even though he would be a better Thomas Wayne. I think he's been fan casted many times. The guy who plays Negan.
Anyone want to tell me who Terry McGinnis is?
Terry McGinnis is Terry.
He's the main character of Batman
Beyond. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm
he's the young teenager who becomes Batman, who Bruce mentors.
What's that guy's name? Who plays Negan?
I don't know. I don't know Negan.
You don't know? Do you ever watch Supernatural?
No.
Damn it. I can't remember his fucking name. Anyway, I'll send it to you after.
He's the dad in Supernatural, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I've heard the name. I just don't really know. I haven't watched anything he's actually in.
He's got the stature. Like, he's got like a really wide build for an older guy. It looks like he would look like the Bruce Timm version.
Okay, yeah, I'm actually sitting here looking at pictures. Yeah, I think he could pull that off as an older Bruce.
He's got the attitude too. Fucking old codger.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, guys, and I think that pretty much wraps up our thoughts on the Batman 2022. Matt Reeves, the Batman, Robert Pattinson. Yeah. So hope you enjoyed the podcast. Like I said, we're rebooting AI Core. This is episode 1, and we're gonna go forward from here. I think I'm gonna do all the podcasts on this channel from now on because it saves me having to re-upload it from one channel to the other. This is the podcast channel, so it is designed for just that.
So you won't have to take it down. You can
exactly.
You can go back and rewatch this.
Leave it up. Easy. Yeah, exactly. And you guys, it's been really fun. Thanks for tuning in, and yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Cheers. See you next week. Same time.
Yeah. Same bat time, same bat channel.
All right. Bye, guys.